One. What up? What up? What up? Oh no, wrong one. Hold on. DJ Hoon. A2HH live. We are in the building. Mike D on this side, Coop on that side. Happy holidays to you, sir. Happy holidays to you out there. How was your Christmas, brother?
It was blessed. One of the best Christmases I had in a long time.
That's awesome. Great to hear. Great to hear. Hope everybody else's Christmas was great out there. AJ3 with the super chat says, "Hello, Mike D and Coop. Who won your Dre versus Ye challenge?" Are we gonna go ahead and get into that? Cause we can.
Mike, I don't know why you would want to get into that.
We can go ahead and get into it. Okay. All right. So these are my. Should we go down the list of the songs? Let's do that. For the people who weren't there, we'll go down the list of the songs. So
no, that's not what I want to do just yet, Mike.
That's not what you want to do just yet?
Because you were talking all this mess about Dr. Dre's help, and I beat you playing 3 albums.
I want to get to that. No.
I want to get to the fact that I didn't play one beat from Straight Outta Compton or Niggas for Life, and I still beat you handily.
You think you beat me handily? I think
Mike, you don't want to put it up in the chat, Mike. And I let you ride the first couple rounds just to see what you was gonna do. That's why I played Afro Puffs, and you better recognize. Just kind of like give you some air. It's like I could have took the wind out of your sails.
Well, I wanted to see what you were gonna do there. Here are some of my observations before I go through the track list. Right? Snoop was on 17 out of the 25 songs that you played.
Damn right.
Eminem, 0. That was another observation I had.
I didn't have to. Don't make this about M, Mike.
No. These are just some of my notes. Okay. Other note I had was the most recent song you played was 20 years old in the club.
Didn't have to.
Okay, everything else was, pretty old school.
What's your Kanye observations, Mike? How about some
I got some Kanye observations too. And out of 25 of the 25 records you played were in Dre's camp. Now, in relation to that, right? So we got 25 of 25. Oh, here's the other part. 15 out of the 25 songs you played came from 3 albums. Now,
no, Mike, 17. 17.
Was it 17?
It was 17. I beat you with 3 albums.
Okay.
I beat you with 3 albums.
Well, when it comes to the Ye thing, I played 19 songs out of the 25 songs I played. They came from 19 different albums.
You shouldn't have done that.
19 of my songs were 20 years and younger, where 20 years old is the youngest song you had. And from the production that was put forth on the Kanye end, it went from Chicago, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Philly, Queens, VA, Atlanta, Harlem, Compton, and Houston. We were all over the board.
Mike, you're pointing out why you lost. If you
No.
If you can't, this is what I was trying to tell you. It's like, well, if you can't stop the sky hook, if you can't stop the fadeaway, if you can't stop the dream shake, guess what's going to happen to you all game? Like, do you know how many games Kareem went and got 30 points using one move? Do you know how many times Mike just got 30 points using the fadeaway? You know how many times Dream went and got 25 using the dream shake? That's why I was trying to tell you. You can talk the agility, versatility, newness. You can talk all that stuff. You can't beat him at his core move. His core move's the best move ever. That's why I was
I'm with you.
And listen, I intentionally didn't play anything from Straight Outta Compton because you threw the Bomb Squad shade. And I was like, well, I don't even need Straight Outta Compton to fade you. Evidence.
Well, this is what I will say, man. Dr. Dre's incredible, and I am willing to concede and say, you know what, Dr. Dre should have that #1 spot. But these notes that I have here is why I had Ye at the #1 spot, because, when we talk about actually making artists better and a variety of artists and doing it in a variety of ways over a duration of time, I think the songs that we played showed that. I think that, the stuff that you played, like you said, to the core that Dre had, the sky hook, it's all from, what can we say, like a 5-year window with artists that are in the camp?
I specifically played the Chronic Doggy Style in 2001 because I knew I could beat you with just 3 albums. And that's what I mean is that Ye's peak ain't like you're trying to make it out to be, because it's like You played everything. You couldn't touch 3 albums. 3.
Max with the super chat says, Coop embarrassed you. Damn, it was like that?
It was like that, Mike. It was bad. Like the last 10 records, Mike, records 15 to 25, you might have won a record.
No, I ain't gonna front. The back end was pretty heavy. I would have actually fared a little bit better if we would have went 20 deep as opposed to 25 deep. But again, the versatility and doing it over a long period of time with a variety of artists is why I had Ye over Dre. But that still might not even be enough. Because what Dre does well, he does so well.
Well, what I was trying to say is, like I told you, Kanye might be more agile. Those records are not as great. He's more agile.
You ready to get to the list?
Huh?
You ready to get to the list?
Oh, yeah.
For the people who didn't see it? Actually, 36 Chambers with the super chat says, Coop won that matchup, but Mike's point is valid. Ye has some versatility that Dre simply doesn't. And the ability to have different sonics matters. I agree, and I guess what my point.
I hate when people say that because that's a goddamn lie.
Is it?
No, yes, it is, Mike. How about this? Listen to what I'm saying. If the sonics and the ability to have different sonics matter so much, show me the top 10 Ye album because Dre got 2 of them with the same quote unquote sound. How do you make 2 of the 10 best rap albums of all time and it not be succinctly better? So all that agility you're talking about, no, it doesn't matter. What about the Wu-Tang run? No, it all sounds like some Wu-Tang shit. It don't matter how agile you are. It matters how great it is.
Mad Max of the super chat says, Mike, you got embarrassed twice. Ye fans are delusional. Ye wasn't Hove. He wasn't Dre. Can we stop the lies about Ye now? Man, it's just good. Okay, this is where we're at with Ye at this point, and I got to be perfectly honest and I got to be balanced here. If he's going to prove that he is that GOAT and everything that we say he is, we're gonna need some new stuff from him because his catalog as it stands doesn't trump Dre's catalog as it stands. Even though I do see the potential that his catalog could overtake Dre's because Dre stopped 20 years ago. But
Mike, I tell you, Kanye stopped about 13 years ago outside of Daytona, Mike. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Who do you think has the better chance of making, I guess, more classic material now, Dre or Ye?
Guy that's made 11 classic rap albums.
Oh, so you would give that to Dre still?
I'm giving Mike until you take a man off of his throne. He sits where he sits. I got more faith in Dre than I have in RZA, in Preem, in Marley, in Kanye, in Q-Tip, and Havoc, because he's the one that has the resume that says, no, if anybody can come and do it. I didn't even play Phone Tap.
I know. I saw that when I was writing down the list. I was like, man, that's one of his favorites, and that's why that's the one that you were talking up so heavy, and you didn't even play Phone Tap.
I didn't need to, Mike. That's what I'm saying. I literally played, Mike, I want you to understand this. I played Murder Was the Case. I played 2 records from the Murder Was the Case soundtrack.
Yeah. 2 great records, by the way.
Yeah, 2 great records. The Friday soundtrack, I played one.
I didn't love that record, but I get it.
But the rest of it was pretty much like...
Oh, we're going to get to it. Thumbs up in the chat, everybody. Let's get some more people in the room here. We appreciate the love. And, yeah, we got a real deep show today, man. We're going to talk this matchup, and we're going to talk Billboard biting our whole steeds with the top 25 producers list. It was damn near identical to certain extents. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, part of the reason why we applaud Hit Boy is for the versatility of the Sonics. Now, we are picking and choosing when that ability matters, Coop. Huh.
No, this is what I'm saying. Hit Boy is literally doing different styles within albums that are great albums that we aren't expecting. He is literally adopting 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 producers' different sounds in the framework of one album. Kanye don't be doing that shit, Mike.
Andrew,
not within the framework of one album. He doesn't. That's why you had to pick from 19 different projects. Right.
I was showing the versatility. It was calculated. Andrew Williams with the super chat says, Mike, you lost because Dre is better. LOL. Kanye can be more versatile, but that doesn't make him better. If Ye was better, he would have won. Simple. Mitch with the super chat says, I think Premier and RZA could have beaten Kanye in the station head too. Mike, maybe not as lopsided, but they can win. I think that's fair. Premier's shit's strong, man. I don't know if a few of you guys are probably at the Patreon that me and Coop used to do on Monday, and we did a Dilla and Preem, and I had Dilla, and Preem shit is just massive, man. Now, I think, from a hip-hop aesthetic, from a quality level, Preem could compete with Dre. I just think Dre's hits are just too big for Preem.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. You have to... How about this? This is what I realized, because I went through Kanye's catalog when I was talking this shit. He makes a lot of great stuff, Mike. He does not have a bunch of classic stuff. Song for song. He has classic albums, because much like Drake, he isn't great at putting together his own project, Mike. But song for song, you'll find that Ye's greatest songs are just really great, and not a lot of them are classic. No, Dre got classic songs.
Do you think a lot of that's timing, though? Because I think that people who grew up in the Kanye era would probably say that Kanye has those classic records, too. Because, we came up in the Dre Death Row era, so those records are just going to mean something different to us.
So this is what I mean. Let's go to their first respective debut albums.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love All Falls Down, and it might be one of my 5 favorite Kanye songs, it's not fucking with Let Me Ride, and Let Me Ride's not a top 5 Dre song.
You don't think so?
No, Let Me Ride is not a top 5 Dr. Dre song.
And you know what? In my opinion, it's up there.
It's up there.
But what are your top 5 Dr. Dre songs? Like, we talking about Dr. Dre albums. We're talking about basically The Chronic in 2001.
I think Nothing But a G Thing, Ghetto Boy, Trump It, and I think...
You got Ghetto Boy over Let Me Ride?
I do.
I don't. I love Ghetto Boy, though, and I think it's an X Factor record. I think it's an X Factor record on The Chronic that kind of separates it from The Chronic and Doggy Style, but Let Me Ride is something else.
Well, what I'm saying is that Let Me Ride is what, the third single off of The Chronic?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't All Falls Down the third single off College Dropout?
Is it? I think so.
That's the gap that I'm talking about. When you put the projects together, it's like, well, one song is really, really great, and you could say it's a classic. One song is classic the first time that you heard it from the time you heard it, and I don't think that's an era thing because, to be honest with you, Kanye was one of the people who made me believe that I could still have my rap dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to make it seem like, no, we may have been raised on Dr. Dre, but we're young enough that we're part of the first part of Kanye's era.
Yeah.
The records just aren't as classic. Like Flashing Lights, my favorite Ye record. It's like, that's not fucking with Explosive.
Luis with the super chat says, who wins in the verses between Chris Brown and The Weeknd? Chris Brown. I don't see what you guys see in The Weeknd. That's just me.
No. Beauty After the Madness is brilliant. But the rest of it is
The
just
Weeknd's cool, but you know what? I think it's the Michael Jackson comparisons that turn me off. When people say stuff like that.
Who comparing Michael Jackson? Who what?
That's how I was first introduced to Weeknd. People would tell me that he sounded like Michael Jackson. I'm like, Because again, I go way back with The Weeknd. Like, I had those hipster friends that was listening to, like, underground stuff at the time, and they were rocking with The Weeknd early.
No, I remember all those little short EPs and stuff, Mike. If people think that The Weeknd sounds like Michael Jackson, they're on drugs, Mike. Like hard.
Mad Max in the super chat says, Scottie Pippen was more versatile than Michael Jordan, but MJ's the GOAT. Scottie is like a top 40 at best. Versatility is overrated. Do you think Pippen was more versatile than Jordan? He was a more versatile defender because he was longer. But if we went category for category, I think you'd be surprised Michael Jordan's still more versatile. I get what he's saying, but...
When he's talking versatile, he's saying Scottie can play more positions on the floor than Mike.
Okay.
And spend more positions on the floor than Mike. How about this? The short guards that used to give Mike problems, they ain't give Scottie problems. The taller guys give Mike problems, like Magic in Game 1 of the Finals when he busted Mike for a triple-double, No, that ain't no problem for Scotty. So Scotty is more versatile in an in-game situation, but skill for skill, Mike is that dude skill for skill.
Yeah.
Like he should have 7 MVP awards. Magic stole one, Karl Malone stole one, maybe 2. When we talk about Magic, we're going to talk briefly about like some of the MJ syndrome and how Karl Malone got those MVP awards, which is kind of why Nas isn't getting recognition this year, because it's like when you bust a nigga's ass this late and you already got X amount of championships and MVP awards, they just kind of want to hand it to other people.
Unfortunately, I love Killer Mike, but I think Killer Mike's getting a lot of that. You know, these guys.
I listened to Michael today, so we need to have a quick conversation about it. That was
we're gonna talk about it.
That was what my Mirror Music Pod with Andrew was about Michael and how Michael was still runner-up for Album of the Year, in my opinion.
Okay. And go check out the Mirror Music Podcast. It was at the what were y'all actually mirroring today?
No, that's the thing. When we do our live show, we just pick an album. So today was Killer Mike's.
Gotcha. Andrew with the super chat says, Hit Boy is versatile and he's top 10 all time, but no one ever said that he's the best ever, like Mike said Kanye, though. That's different. Okay? OG Winston with the super chat says, I know y'all getting to the list, but Diamonds is definitely better than Afro Puffs. It was a close battle until the last 5. Okay, let's get to it then. That's a great introduction.
Let's do a rundown.
All right, so Ye starts off with Diamonds. That's the opener. And then Dr. Dre responds with Afro Puffs. What people got on that one? You know what? Let me get my pen. What do you have on that one? Where's my damn pen? Oh, here we go.
To be honest, Mike, I don't love the Diamonds beat like everybody else, and Afro Puffs is one of my personal favorite Dre beats. That was a personal call by me. I love Afro Puffs.
I'm going Diamonds. We can put it in the chat. I think we should put it in the chat. That's fair. Since you got one and I got the other, let's go ahead and put it in the chat. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Where's the... Oh, here we go. Hadn't done the remote in so long, I forgot how to do the damn pose. All right. So, are we going to hit 50 first? Are we going to get to 50 and then we'll close it off?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
All right. Diamonds, Afro Puffs. Rock on with your bad self. I didn't know Dre did that, actually, to be perfectly honest with you. Then, all right, this was my strategy. I'm just going to say this now. Each round I started off, I wanted to throw you off with an R&B hit and wanted to see how you would respond to that. And so I played Alicia Keys' You Don't Know My Name. And then you played Think You Better Recognize by Sam Snead. Now, you giving me that one?
I personally love You Don't Know My Name by Alicia Keys. It's one of her best records, if not her best record.
I think it is her best record.
And it is actually, just if we're talking pound for pound, one of Kanye's best beats. So I understood why you picked that. And part of me was like, play Family Affair by Mary J. Blige right now.
I was hoping that you did that because I think it beats Family Affair.
I do too. And that's why I was like, well, I'm not going to spend a spade about You Don't Know My Name, but I am going to play some classic Dre shit. And that was You Better Recognize.
So it sounds like you're leaning towards You Don't Know My Name as well.
I can let you have that one. That's cool.
All right. Diamonds is winning over here. We're at 47 votes in. We got Leroy Green with the super chat. He says, which one of you guys from the West Side? Mike, come on now. Killer Mike brought that old ATL soul back. I gave it a solid listen over the holidays. Fire. I'm from the West Side. Shout out to Killer Mike, Adamsville, and all that stuff. Okay, so then I played Talib Kweli's Get By. Then you played Snoop Dogg, What's My Name?
Yeah.
I know what I think, but I want to see what the people think because I remember we had What's My Name up there one time, and people didn't hold it as high as I did. Now, granted, I'm going to keep it real. I'm picking What's My Name on that. I'm going to be honest. But I want to see what the people in the chat say. Because Diamonds has won that one. Let's get over to this one. Let's see. All right. Get. What's my name? I mean, because to me, that's one of Dre's best produced records. And we'll talk about produced.
I can't front. I played that just to let you know that you weren't going to win tonight.
I figured.
I'm that early, just to let you know you're not winning tonight.
CJ Kid with a super chat. CJ Kid says, "Peace, OGs, mental and physical always." I heard a bit of mirror music that Coop swept you, Mike. Oh, he was talking shit on the mirror music. But I want to know the truth. We need the results. We're getting the results right now. We're actually on round 3. I think you're just checking in, CJ the Kid. Kanye's up 2-0 right now. Diamonds beat Afro Puffs. You Don't Know My Name beat Sam Snead. Think You Better Recognize. And What's My Name is actually beating Get By right now. Sorry, Talib. Sorry, Talib.
I'm not sorry, Talib.
Okay. And then Kanye comes with Can't Tell Me Nothing. Then you play Still DRE. Ooh. I think that one needs to go to the polls too. I know what I think, but
do you really think that needs to go to the polls?
I do. Let's see. What's the better song? I think that does. Even though I think Still DRE is one of the best beats of all time. I think it's Dr. Dre's best song, actually.
It's not, but it's definitely better than that Kanye shit.
You know what? Second best song. G-Thang's still number 1. I just remember the feeling when Still DRE came out. And you want to talk about a comeback record? I know we were just talking about a comeback album with Stillmatic, but when Still DRE came out in 1999, he shut everything down. Like, it was a feeling like, yo, Dr. Dre is back. And the stuff about Dr. Dre, I don't want to say being washed up, but being past his prime and all that, that was real. That was really real.
Well, you have to understand, producers 10 years into the rap game, like he was when 2001 went out, they didn't make records like that. Like, Marley Marl don't have nothing like 2001 in 1996, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, producers and rappers. Like, once your time was over, and it was passing it on to the next. Like, I don't think we had really seen a true comeback. I know, we like to give it to LL with the Mama Said Knock You Out, but that was just, that was in between albums. You know what I mean? Like, it was an off album and I came back. But once you've been gone a couple years, rappers and producers didn't come back like that. So Still DRE was definitely a moment. And it won this one.
Well, it should.
2 Words versus Murder Was the Case. 2 Words is my personal favorite Kanye song, but I'm not gonna body myself by lying to the people. That's Murder Was the Case, and I know it'll win the polls too. So
it's 3-2 me.
3-2 Dre. Yep. So then we switched it up, and you started around. You played Let Me Ride. I played Flashing Lights. Now, what say you on that?
I told you, like, that's the separation, Mike. Let Me Ride is better than Flashing Lights.
You hold Flashing Lights higher than I do, and I hold Let Me Ride higher than you do. So I want to go to the people on this one.
That's fine.
Let's see.
When I played Murder Was the Case, though, against Can't Tell Me Nothing, I was like, Mike spent that one too early.
No, you played Murder Was the Case versus Still no, Murder Was the Case was against 2 Words.
2 Words, right?
You got me with Still DRE with Murder. With,
I felt like you just spent too early for those because I'm like, oh man, at least let me. I feel like you should have given me the opportunity to play some records that I ended up using as rebuttals early on.
James with the super chat says, Daz said he produced Afro Puffs on his podcast.
First of all, Daz says he produced everything, in case you didn't notice.
Are we going to say that Daz is not telling the truth?
Daz produced The Chronic. He produced Doggy Style. He produced All Eyes on Me. He produced Death Row's whole catalog according to Daz. So no disrespect to Daz, but it's like, and I'm not being funny when I say this, what are Daz's great production jobs? And tell me Dr. Dre wasn't around for all of them.
What about Ambitions as a Rider?
like I said, Dr. Dre was still in the building. I'll give him. How about this? If you want to say that Daz produced All Eyes on Me,
yeah,
and he wasn't around really because him and Suge was having their thing, I'll give you that. But
because I don't think Pac and Dre were ever in the studio together. I think that was something that, I listen to the Suge Knight podcast, but I think that was something that I heard somewhere, and I thought about it. We've never seen a picture of Dr. Dre and Tupac in the studio together, like ever.
Hey, Mike, let me ride this crush flashing light.
It sure did. I mean, we should just close the book on this right now. CJ Kidd with the super chat says, despite the results, the Kanye versus Dre saga for the past 2 weeks has been the best piece of entertainment you guys produced. It has got me through a lot. Well, we appreciate it. We're going to keep it going one last time. Damn. Man, when you play next episode, I ain't going to lie, man. That was one of those moments like when you played A Million and One in the Jay-Z Kanye thing. Where it was like, well, fuck, what do I respond to this with? I just kind of threw a club out there on this one. Run This Town is what I responded with. So that's next episode.
So it's what? So what's the score, Mike?
The count right now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-2 from what I'm seeing.
Correct.
Yo, who is this person with the Kobe Bryant icon that is spamming us? Come on, mods. Holla at us real quick. Let's get the fake Kobe out of here. No disrespect. All right, then you play Ghetto Boys.
I already blocked.
Little Ghetto Boy. You got him? Okay, cool.
I don't appreciate using Kobe like that.
Yeah, man, like people ain't got no respect, huh? Little Ghetto Boy is what you played, and I played The Corners by Common. I think The Corners wins that, but I go to the people. I'll be fair.
Yeah, I can't give you that.
Let's see. The Corner. Little Ghetto Boy. Living in the ghetto streets. CJ Kidd with the super chat says, also still need that Metro versus Havoc just to extend the content for laughs. Also, there are pics of Pac and Dre in the studio. Look it up. Okay. All right. You know what? I'm going to do that while we're live on air.
The Corner's winning.
The Corner's winning? Okay. Good. It should.
The Corner just won.
Okay. It's the better song. We're at 50. Boom. All right.
You think it's the better song?
I think it is. I mean, I think very highly of The Corner. I think it's one of the best songs on one of the best albums of the 2000s.
So. No, I think The Corner might be Common's best song. So.
Yeah. You played the Shiznick.
Sure did.
And then I played We Made You. I think We Made You wins.
No, the Shiznick is my favorite Snoop Dogg record, so you're definitely.
I love the Shiznick too. On a mission, wishing upon a star.
I don't care what anybody. It's one of those beats. When I first heard it, I was like, I didn't know that you could make a beat that sounded like that.
I actually have a freestyle to that beat, to be honest. I'm gonna be real here.
Mike, it was on beat. When we were younger, it's like that's the beat you rap to.
Yeah.
It's on Ready to Die, for God's sake.
Man, you know what, man? They were really listening to Dre heavy. Dre and Ray. Mad Max of the super chat says the fake Kobe is Jason Tatum, Mike. Boston.
That's fun. Hold on, what's the score right now? Is it like 6-3?
It is 1, 2, 3. It's actually 5-3. Now, if Shiznick wins this, it's gonna be 6-3. Oh, it's close. Shiznick won. No, 48 votes. We're not done. We're done.
We won.
We're done. That was close, though. That was close. Damn.
That was close.
I needed that one, guys. Y'all ain't shit.
No. Record.
Nah, the Shiznick's great. I think that We Made You beat is better. Maybe because it's newer.
I love it, but no.
Then you play Bitch Please. And that was another one. I was like, ugh. Kind of thrown off there. But then I played Slow. Then I played Slow Jams. Then I played Slow Jams. I
You
think
want to
that
know what my
Slow Jams is a big record. You know what?
is.
Both of those songs did similar things. That song, Bitch Please, brought Exhibit to the masses, while Slow Jams brought Twista and Jamie Foxx as an artist to the masses.
I'm cool with drawing that. Actually, that was the one record where I was like, if Mike wants to draw this, I'm cool. But if you think Slow Jams is better, we can poll it.
We'll poll it. I can't afford a draw right now. I need all of them. CJ Kidd with the super chat says, dead serious about that Metro versus Havoc. I'm with it. I'm tired of taking these underdogs, but I'm with that one, though. I don't know if that's much of an underdog, per se, but Havoc got the classics, man.
Metro has,
Havoc just has those nostalgic classics, but, Metro is all across the board. Slow Jam's winning this one. Actually, by a good bit. Boom.
Yeah, I got it. Yep.
All right. Then it was my turn again, and I played Power. Whew. And then you played Natural Born Killers. Both killer records. I think we should poll them.
Yeah, you want to poll all these records I want.
I really do, man.
Natural Born Killers is better than Power, Mike. I'm sorry.
Natural Born Killers is heavy.
I can't even front, Mike. When I played Natural Born Killers, I said to myself, it's like, next to nothing but a G thing, this might be his cleanest production job.
Man. I didn't really love when he got in that whole Mad Max thing. No pun intended. Shout out to my man Mad Max out there. But that song, he nailed it. That one he nailed it. I'll give him that. Because I think that's where he was going with that whole been there, done that, and the Aftermath project and all that. It was kind of like a Doomsday Mad Max type of vibe.
Right.
And Natural Born Killers, huh?
It's close. Hold on. You might win this one, Mike. You have no business winning this one.
50-50.
We're breaking the tie.
Damn. It was close. I'm cool with that. Which ones was close? The Shiznick and Born Killers was close. I'm going to remember those. Okay, and then I played New God Flow, and you played Serial Killer. I think we got to poll that one too, man. I hate to, What's that? You cut out for a second, Coop. What you say?
Did you hear me?
Yeah, what's you say?
I said, New God Flow is better to me.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay. Then I came with
Serial Killers. If we're going by beats.
I love Serial Killer, by the way. And then I stayed with the theme for my second round. I wanted to go with an R&B record, and I went with Monica's Knock Knock.
That's terrible.
And then you played Dr. Dre's The Watcher. That's The Watcher.
What is it, Mike? It's 8-4 or some shit right now?
Right now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's 8-5. 8-5. All right, OG Winston with the super chat says Metro is beating Havoc respectfully.
Metro got a lot of bangers.
36 Chambers with the super chat says 57 votes isn't a cutoff. Power over MBK. Come on. Okay.
No, you come on 36 Chambers.
And that's coming from 36. I wouldn't expect that from 36. But I'm going to be fair. When it hit 50, though, 36, it was Natural Born Killers over Power. Sean with the super chat says, considering Scarface's catalog, why wasn't No Joe on y'all producers list? Yeah, No Joe. Yeah. I mean, because just overall, I think that other people, may have been a little bit more deserving. I guess Ninth Wonder is the one that's out there for most people. Like, is Ninth Wonder in or is he out? Would you put N.O. Joe over Ninth Wonder? Because
you can make an argument.
You can make that argument, but for my personal taste, I would. Let's see where we at right now. Okay, this was controversial. I played Dead Prez Hip Hop, and some people said that Kanye didn't make that. I've always heard that Kanye made that, and if I'm disqualified for that after the fact checking, then I lost that one anyway. You played The Formula. I think The Formula is better than hip hop anyway, even if Kanye did make the record. So, no, not The Formula. It's Funky Enough. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, that shit is crazy. Actually, that's one of Dre's best beats.
It is. I was like, how about this? I'll tell you this. I said, if I'm playing two old Dre beats, I'm playing Funky Enough and Boys in the Hood.
Oh, yeah, you won with those. You scored big with those. Compton. Shit's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. It is.
Then I played Down and Out by Killer Cam. And then
I didn't love that.
Yeah. It went better in my head then. But again, this is showing the range. And then you played Explosive. Well, that's why I didn't love it. All right. I think it was your turn to take over at this point. No pun intended. You played Dre Day. And then I played The Takeover.
It's still Dre Day.
I think we need to poll that one.
What's the score right now, though, Mike? Because this is when I feel like I started taking off on you.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 9 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9 to 5. Damn. Let's see.
Dre Day or Takeover?
This is where we're at, people.
Hold on. No, Mike. It should be 10 to 5 or 9 to 6 because 15 records. You're missing one.
Okay, let me see.
10 to 5. Yeah, Esquire got it right. It's 10 to 5.
It's 10 to 5? Okay. Oh, yeah. I didn't count Funky Enough. Yeah. I didn't count Funky Enough because I was correcting my shit here. 10 to 5. Jeez. Okay.
Dre Day is crushing The Takeover, by the way.
We might need to just hang it up after that.
No, I want people to see that Kanye's not in this conversation. It needs to be understood. And it needs to be understood that it doesn't matter what he makes in the next 10 years, it's still not going to be funky enough. Like
CJ Kidd, he has a little bit of work to do, huh? CJ Kidd with the super chat says, Mike, I hope you played Takeover. Yes, I played.
He did. It just lost. It's 11 to 5, Dr. Dre.
Y'all got Dre Day over Takeover? I mean, I guess so.
It's like when Obama won the office. It's like 63 to 37%. It's like not even close. It's like when Obama took the ring.
Oh, shit. Hold on. Hold on. I'm putting my mouse over here because this thing ain't... All right, there we go. This is getting embarrassing. Y'all right? This was a blowout. All right. So Dre Day wins that. Handily, actually.
Yeah, it's bad.
Then you play In the Club. And then I play Jesus Walks.
You can actually have that one.
Jesus Walks over In the Club. I wasn't a big fan of the In the Club record. I respect it for what it did, and its performance is, impeccable. But personally, I wasn't a big fan of it.
Both of the songs collectively are better put together than the beats to me. And Jesus Walk is the more impactful record, so I'm cool with that.
Then you play Keep the Heads Ringing. I'm not a fan of that record either, but I know a lot of people are, so I'm going to be fair here. And then I played The Games Wouldn't Get Far.
Put that in the chat. I'm going to need you to put that in the chat, because I'm not in one of those records, but I feel like you missed an opportunity.
I did.
How about when I played that and I listened to it, I was like, man, that's Keep Their Heads Ringing is the one record I played that I felt like I shouldn't have played. But then you played Wouldn't Get Far, and I was like, well, you saved me.
I should have played Beanie Siegel The Truth, actually, but that's where I could have played The Truth. But Wouldn't Get Far is a dope record. Let's see. Yeah, but I don't really think that highly of Keep the Heads Ringing, to be honest with you, bro. Like, so maybe that's why I, flub that up in that way. But CJ Kid with the super chat says, "Did you play 2 words?" Yep, that was round 4 actually.
Didn't go well.
$20 super chat from Pimp Panther with showing love. He says, "I may be late with the comment, but did I hear another verses? Mike clearly won that. Maybe it's just a Ye fan, but everything that Coop played sounded so similar that I was actually bored of his selections. What do you say about that?"
I'd like to thank him for his $20 super chat, and you got blown out, Mike. It doesn't matter.
Well, I want to respect his money real quick and go back over the stats that I did earlier. These are my observations, right? The newest song that Coop played was 20 years old, which was in the club. There was 0 Eminem songs on there. Snoop Dogg was on 17 of the 25 songs being played. And 15, or I think you said 17, you corrected me. 17 of the 25 songs that were being played came from 3 albums. Whereas on the Kanye end,
I think it's 18.
Okay.
It's 18.
And whereas on the Kanye end, these songs came from 19 albums. So maybe he didn't get that part of the show. All right. Next round. Because Keep the Heads Ringing beat that. That's crazy to me. And you know what? That's a missed opportunity. That should have been the truth. That should have been what I played.
What's the score?
It's bad. We're going to keep it going real quick. Guess who's back in these nuts?
I love the beat for these nuts is crazy.
It is. I love it too. And I think we've talked about it a lot on this show. I'm still going to go with Guess Who's Back, but I love the D's Nuts beat. I mean, should we put that in the chat?
Nah, I think Guess Who's Back can win that one. That's one of Ye's more special moments.
Then you played Ain't No Fun. And then I played So Appalled.
Good night. Good night. You're not beating Ain't No Fun. It ain't no fun.
Not even So Appalled?
It ain't no fun.
AJ3 with the super chat says, "Did you guys get to hear about Dame Dash claiming that Jay stole songs, but Cam wouldn't let him on Oh Boy?" I did hear about that. Well, I think what Dame said.
Cam talked about this years ago.
He did talk about this years ago, but what Dame said, to me, it sounds like it was in line with what I saw from the Irv Gotti Murder Inc. documentary, where he was saying that Can I Get Her was Ja Rule's song. And they called up Jay to get on it, and if you listen to Can I Get Her, the hook sounds like Ja Rule. Shit, even Emil's verse sounds like Ja Rule. And even Jay's verse sounds somewhat like Ja Rule. Now, I'm not saying that Ja wrote for Jay on there, but I do believe it's more plausible to believe that Ja wrote for Emil on there and Jay didn't. You know what I mean? But yeah, Can I Get Her does sound like it was Ja Rule's record. Ja Rule was an up-and-coming act at the time. Jay was flying. Jay was who he is. So who you think's going to get the record? I mean, but the fact that Young Guru went out there and disputed it, and I was thinking, like, was Guru even around for those days?
No.
Yeah, it's like, is this Guru talking or is this Jay talking?
You might have been interning at Def Jam around the time.
Yeah, it's like, is this Guru talking or is it Jay talking? Because my thing is like, yo, if Dame said it went down a certain way, he was clearly there in every aspect. Who is Young Guru for something in that period to kind of refute it? I don't know. But back to the regularly scheduled program.
It's a lot of things, but he's not a liar.
Yeah. Esquire with the super chat says, "Happy holidays, fellas. Y'all should do a recount for any round with a 2% margin of victory." Here we go, Esquire. I appreciate that. He says, I'm taking power over natural born killers. Mike, I gotta say, you let us down. Well, what do y'all think I should have played?
Esquire, Mike didn't let y'all down. Y'all let yourselves down by thinking this was a competition. All right.
Esquire with another super chat. He says, recount the 75 or 100 votes to be specific.
You're still going to lose. You're still going to lose.
Okay, so if it's a 2% margin, we let it go to 100. I don't think that's a bad idea. We'll do that next time. I'm not going to be a sore loser here. It is what it is. Maul7 with the super chat says, I'm picking Keep Your Heads Ringing because that's the song that made me love hip-hop. Okay. Keep Your Heads Ringing is a big record. CJ Kid with the super chat says, did you play This Can't Be Life? Should have been in versus Explosive. I was trying to make it avoid Explosive, actually, just because Kanye took the drums for Dre's record to make Jay's record. It's on here. We'll get to it. It looks like Kanye lost, so we can kind of just go through the rest of them.
No, I want him to lose bad. I want a count of how bad he lost.
Ain't no fun over So Appalled. Is everybody good with that?
It ain't no fun.
Common's The People versus Doggy Dog World. I think that's Doggy Dog World. Twista's Overnight Celebrity versus Boys in the Hood. That's Boys in the Hood. Heart of the City versus Gin and Juice. That's Gin and Juice, man. As much as I love Heart of the City is a top 5 Jay-Z record.
Oh, that's crazy. It's not a competition.
Can't Be Life versus G-Thing. That's G-Thing. And Dreams versus Deep Cover. As much as I hate to admit it, that's Deep Cover.
Now, Mike, what's the tally?
This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's like 18-7, I guess. Something like that.
And you think that Kanye is number 2 on this list even?
I need to reevaluate that.
I told you a few weeks ago, I was like, I have him at 5, where he should appropriately be. He should be at number 5.
Did I mess up that bad, people, or is Kanye's production just not up to snuff with RZA, Premier, and Drake?
Not enough. The guys that I have ahead of Kanye are ahead of Kanye because of the classic nature of the records that they have made. Classic, not great, not good, not versatile. Classic. Like when Mass Appeal come on from Preem, no, that's different. When You Know My Steez come on, that's different.
No, you're right.
And 10 Crack Commandments, and New York State of Mind, and Memory Lane, and Represent, when those records, it's different. See, those records would have taken Dre further. Ye can't take Dre nowhere. Preem and RZA can. Marley can.
They got the nostalgia on their side, too.
They have the same nostalgia that Dre has on his side, though. That's what makes it more fair.
I think this was the biggest blowout in our versus history.
But, Mike, even when you say this, stop acting like there's not nostalgia with Ye. He hasn't made anything classic in 13 years, except for Daytona. And you didn't play anything from Daytona because you knew that if you played something from Daytona,
it's fair. Well, you know what? Let's get to this next part of the topic.
First of all, I just want to say this, and everybody needs to understand this. B-Dot is whack, and so is all of his lists. So stop giving that nigga credit like he deserves credit.
What kind of list B-Dot got now?
Oh, he did his top albums too, and he put Jack Harlow on there, but Magic 2 and Magic 3 didn't make the list. Yeah, he got the boy Harleezy on there.
That's weird.
He's
no
weird.
Magic 2 or Magic 3?
He's weird. Remember, he pulled up in the Twitter spaces like laughing at us one time, and I was like, yeah, nigga, keep laughing until I see
you. You know what? That's what we need to do. And I know we said we're going to do these Twitter spaces, but when we do these Twitter spaces, I want all of these writers, these Billboard people who are in the chat right now, I'm sure, who be biting our lists, biting our concepts. I need y'all in the Twitter space. The trolls, everything. We're going to talk. Let's have a hip-hop conversation because that's the forum to do it. If y'all writers, y'all are, writing for these major publications, putting together these lists, y'all should have no problem jumping in the Twitter space, having a hip-hop conversation with us.
I'm sorry. Magic 3 made his list at number 9.
At number 9? Okay. Might as well just left it off.
I want him in the spaces. I want him. I want B-Dot and Elliott Wilson in the spaces. Like, the niggas that keep jocking my shit and watching us.
You know what? I think I came with the wrong link.
Keep doing crummy shit too.
Well, see, this is my thing. I don't think we've spoken on this whole journalism thing or whatever that with Elliot Wilson. Elliot Wilson's a legend in this thing. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And he's been able to transition over the years. For the people who don't know, he started Ego Trip magazine. He was at The Source as editor-in-chief when the mics mattered the most. And when he went over to Double XL, they had the juice and The Source didn't. He went off and started Rap Radar. Has been able to navigate throughout the digital landscape. But the thing is, and I'll say this just like we say with rappers, carry yourself like an OG, man. Like, coming at these young journalists and acting like what they're doing isn't journalism and then running back and apologizing for it and all that, man, it's just not cool, man. There's a way for all these things to exist, just like how we're able to speak on certain eras with the level of integrity that we do and then speak to some of the younger stuff, like, with that level of integrity and stuff that's not major. Like, there's a way to do it. It feels like he's still trying to be cool. You know what I mean? And it's like, you don't even have to do that.
He's not cool.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Mike, I'm 42 years old. You know who I'm not cool to? Teenagers.
Exactly. Me.
Okay.
And that's fine.
But what you can do, stop stealing my shit.
Well, see, that's the thing, too. It's like
You be stealing my shit.
But see, this is what happens, though, Coop. People are so out of the loop. And instead of actually doing the work, they just go for, the grassroots and start picking from there.
Now, hey, in fairness to B-Dot don't be stealing my shit, but he needs to because he sucks. It's like, I don't know how to feel about it. It's like, should I be mad at the old ass nigga that's stealing my shit? Or should I be mad at the nigga who sucks at this that should be stealing my shit? I don't know who to be upset with.
I'm sorry I don't have you on camera while you're giving this rant, but I was just pulling up the list for the people. Let me get you back on camera.
If you'd like me to repeat it while I'm on.
Go ahead. Because I know sometimes people take our clips and put them online. So go ahead.
I don't know if it's worse that the old man who's past his prime is stealing my shit, or the dude who sucks at it should be stealing my shit. What should I be upset about? Like, tell me where the middle ground is.
For me,
together and stuff too, it be making me feel some type of way. It's like, you should be stealing my shit because you suck. You used to be the shit, but you apparently are past your prime, and your way of keeping yourself alive is pulling up here, having people pull up in here and steal my shit. Who's making the bigger infraction here?
Well, for me personally, this is hip hop, and so biting is always the worst to me. And and I've gotten to the point as a creator myself where I just like brush off people biting because I'm just so used to it. But now it's just so blatant, man. And anybody talking this hip hop shit, this and that, the rule number one, man, no biting, man. Like, biting is off limits. So I will give B-Dot a little bit more credit. I think a lot of his lists at this point are just trolling lists. And is it even, I'm saying this, I'm just being real. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything, but is it even an honor to be on a B-Dot list at this point, just based on what we see making his list?
If you're trolling, your lists are about trolling and getting views and getting likes, aren't you hurting the integrity of hip-hop journalists, which was what Elliot Wilson was just complaining about? Like, isn't B-Dot part of the problem if it is what you say it is?
It looks like that. It really does.
But he be shaking this nigga hand all the time. I don't hear him calling B-Dot out.
Well, that's like he wasn't calling Jay out for not doing interviews with hip-hop journalists, but he called Andre 3000 out for that.
Yeah,
same team.
It's okay for Jay to sit down with Kevin Hart and not take a sip of champagne the whole time, and that's cool. But Andre 3000 can't talk to Rolling Stone. Right. But really, both of these niggas is out of line.
And Andre didn't even make a hip-hop album, so he really didn't owe hip-hop journalists anything, to be perfectly honest. All right, let me get some of these super chats real quick. CJ the Kid with the super chat says, did you play 2 words? Okay, I'm really behind with this. Let me get back up to speed with some of these super chats.
You don't get the Billboard stealing our shit, Mike. They just stole our whole list.
They stole the whole list. They went 25 deep and everything. Maybe it's a coincidence. CJ Kid with the super chat says, did you play this game? All right, I've seen that. Hold on, where am I at with this? My bad. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, I'm not too much older than Mad Max. This is the only blowout where the dominant vote is nostalgic old heads. Ye won a few of those, few more of these. Dre is better, of course, but this isn't a blowout like y'all think. Okay, well, thank you, 36. So CJ Kid with the super chat says,
yes, it is.
Did you guys know that Premier sequenced and put together Illmatic for Nas? Does he get a point against Dre for putting together an album better than any album Dre has? His name's not on it. That's kind of hearsay. I'm going to be fair. Humble Brag with the super chat. He says, where's this Killer Mike hype coming from? I don't think Michael was even better than Magic 2. We're going to get to that.
It is.
Mad Max with the super chat says, Coop wants to tune up the fights in the spaces before he gets to see me shaking my head. We going to see you, Mad Max.
Mad Max, I want you, Billboard, Pitchfork, Elliot, B-Dot, the biting ass niggas that Ebro be having in the chat from Apple Music. I want all you niggas in the chat at the same time. I will step on you collectively. It is slight work. Slight.
Mitch with the super chat says, people are saying nostalgia made Dre win a lot of these rounds. Yeah, I'm 24. I thought most of those Dre records were better, objectively, and I'm a Ye fan. Well, thanks for that. AJ3 with the super chat says, XXL freshman class is trash without him. Christopher Hogan with the super chat says, Propane dropped a dope album Friday. Top 10 in my opinion. We got to check that out. Brandon Thompson with the super chat says, Kanye is getting great at song concepts. Dre is great at making the songs connect. In short, Dre's songs hit different. It's true.
Accurate. Yes.
Very accurate. And I've said that before. And I was just kind of testing Dre and I failed, man. Can't forget about Dre, right? And you didn't even need to play any Eminem records.
Or NWA records.
What NWA records would you have played?
I probably played Appetite for Destruction off Niggas for Life.
That's a good one. Dope Man's a good one, too.
Gangsta, Express Yourself, Straight Outta Compton are all possibles.
You know what I really liked from Niggas for Life? Was it Real Niggas Don't Die? I just want to celebrate.
Too. 100 Miles and Running crossed my mind too.
100 Miles and Running is crazy.
Mike, people forget he produced Above the Law's album too, right after Straight Outta Compton. That has some shit on there too. Like when I had some stuff in the cut.
Yo, 007 just hit me, or hit both of us actually. He says apparently the super chats don't work in Europe. See, they're sabotaging us, man. Shout out to 007 in Europe, always on the move as 007s do. He says apparently super chats don't work in Europe. I'm in Geneva, but here's what I want to say. Joining late, gentlemen, but congrats. He said the more biters, the more cemented your YouTube presence is. It's 1:35 a.m. and I'm about to enjoy some Swiss chocolate. Cheers to you, sir. Glad you're watching the broadcast from Geneva. Respect. Go ahead, Coop.
Me and Double O got to talk because the homie Obi got family in Geneva too, and me and 007 was talking about that, about how we need to plan like maybe a little Geneva trip because my homie Obi got people out there too.
Nice.
Yeah,
man. I'm down for Geneva. Shit. CJ Kid with the super chat says, "You guys heard Big Hit's album? I liked it.
I enjoyed it.
Sean,
I was actually going to say, we haven't had much time, but we should spend some time and just talk about Big Hit and what they're doing.
Fireberg Phoenix got some music on the way too, man. He checks into the show a lot, and he's actually doing this dope concept. He's turning 50 this year, right? And he turns 50 actually in a couple of days. So he dropped his album Half 100. That was like 4 months ago. It was on the same date. It was 8/29. And so he's dropping the 50 bars that go with that on December 29th as well. So it's a whole numbers thing. He says his favorite number was 4 month increment. It took him 8 months to actually complete Half 100. And I heard some of the snippets, man. Shit's hard. So we're gonna keep y'all up to date on that as well. It's been a lot of really good music. And one of the categories that I wanted to put out here for these awards that we're about to do is Slept On Album of the Year. And I think there's a lot that could be put in that category. Sean with the Super Chat says, Michael is mid, to be honest. Oh, I can't wait till we talk about this album. And I hate to, have a repeat for you. I know you just did a show on it, but, we can kind of like...
No, we're talking about... hold on. First of all, Michael is not mid. It's the best project Killer Mike's ever made. It's actually one of the best albums that come out of the South in a minute. And it just because it's not your definition of what hip hop is doesn't mean it's not a great hip hop album. And we can kind of unpack that. And even with that said, it's still like, how about this? Today I realized I had it in my top 5, but I feel comfortable putting it at number 2 after listening to it.
Yes. Yeah, I would love to hear, how you got to that point because, we kind of been all over the place when it comes to that album in particular this year. Luis with the Super Chat says, Coop is going at Kanye or B-Dot and Mike. It's going at Eminem. Gotta be the 2 funniest shits I've ever seen. Y'all kill me with these rants. Salute from Cape Verdean. You know what? Speaking of Eminem, never mind. I'll get to the Umar thing in a second.
With all this
because when he said that, everybody has this whole Umar thing. When Dr. Umar Johnson, when he was on Joe Budden's podcast and said that Eminem can't be the greatest in hip hop because he's white. I think that some of those comments were misguided, and I wanted to address that at some point.
You felt they were misguided?
I do.
I feel like we should start there.
You want to start there and then go back to the Billboard thing? No, let's get through this Billboard thing real quick.
I want to bang on Billboard on records.
This is a big show for us, guys. This is the last of 2023, so we got to go all out on this one. CJ Kid with the Super Chat says, when I walk past mirrors, I bang on myself. Oh, he's going viral. Shout out to Big Hit. CJ Kid with the Super Chat also says, I forgot also someone called you guys the Siskel and Ebert of hip hop. How do you guys feel about such a comparison? I mean, I'm honored because that was kind of the mission, right? That was kind of the mission.
I mean, I don't know how to feel about that. I don't like being compared to 2 old homosexual white men, but I guess it's not.
I wasn't thinking about that part. I was just talking about the concept of the show. Pause.
Right. Concept.
Yeah, concept. Concept is on point. Ill Magic with the Super.
Hold on, Mike. Siskel and Ebert couldn't fucking act. We could rap.
Well, that's true.
Talked about this shit with Andrew earlier. Part of what makes our perspective different and yours too is the fact that, we actually did it, but we were actually good at it. It's actually good.
I think that, and everything still stands. We get 20. You want to do 20 or 25,000 subscribers, and we'll drop an EP.
Whatever works. I got bars still. Think it's on one that
I haven't written in a minute, but I got bars still. I freestyle all the time.
Right. Mike, I randomly come up with song concepts just because that's the way my brain is trained from all the years of doing it. Like, it's nothing. It's not a problem.
Ill Magic.
I smoke most of these niggas out here still.
Ill Magic with the Super Chat says, seeing a son working with his father to make a dope album is inspiring. What Hit Crew, Big Hit, and Hit Boy are doing is ahead of its time. I'm 100% with you. I agree with that. And I was a big fan of even when T.I. and his son made that song a few years back. Yeah. I said that back then. I was like, that should have been the first single on Libra Scale. I feel like T.I. missed an opportunity there. They waited to 2-3 years down the line to put it out. I always love seeing that. Like when E40 and his son make a record together, like that's a beautiful thing. And so what Hit Boy and his father are doing, that's awesome. Because I don't think we've seen it in this I guess in this tense, because usually it's the father who's established and the son is kind of on the come up, and they're working together in that facet. But Hit Boy is the one that's established here, and he's actually producing for his father. I don't think we've seen that, and that's dope.
Big Hit and Hit Boy were courtside at the Lakers game, and Hit was like, yo, Pops ain't been home for Christmas in 10 years. And I was like, when, nigga? When? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's a beautiful thing.
It'd be deeper than the music when I see stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Thumbs up in the chat, y'all. Leroy Green with the super chat says, how Killer Mike ain't take you back to church, Mike? We're going to talk about the Killer Mike. All right, let's get in order real quick. Let me get to this list. Then we're going to get to the Umar and Eminem thing. Then we'll talk end of the year superlatives, and I think we're going to talk Killer Mike from there, right?
Okay.
Is that where we're at? Yeah, I think that's where we're at. Okay, so Billboard clearly watches the show, and they came up with a top 25 hip-hop producers list just like we did. Maybe it's a coincidence. I don't know. All right, number 25. This thing is loading slow as hell. Number 25 looks like Ludacris is bucking his eyes. I think this is organized noise. Yes. Organized noise. How do you feel about that?
I didn't do my group list yet because A, I haven't had time, and B, I seen that the shit that we were still talking about with our respective lists was going viral. If we are combining producers and group producers, I would have organized noise higher than this, and I wouldn't have a picture of fucking Ludacris as the example of organized noise. I would have the Dungeon Family.
Outkast at least, golly.
Hold on. So just understand from the start of this list, I realized how out of touch they were, because it's like y'all put organized noise at 25, and it's not a picture of the Dungeon Family. It's not a Goody Mob, Outkast, Cool Breeze, Witch Doctor, Big Rube type of shit. Like what?
I guess Luda's more popular. I don't know. Organized noise at 25. Ninth Wonder at 24. Did you have Ninth Wonder in your top 25?
I did, but it's a solo producers list. So on my solo producers list, Ninth wouldn't make the group list because I'd have the Hitmen, Organized Noise, Trackmasters, DJ Paul, and Juicy J. That's 4 right there.
I think those guys are missing on this list. Bomb Squad's 23. Larry Smith is 22. And you know what? I want to take credit for the fact that Larry Smith was included on this list.
Mike, when I saw Larry Smith on the list, I said, these motherfuckers been jocking our stick.
I'm glad he's on the list.
Ain't nobody been walking around talking about Larry ass except for you, Mike.
Yeah, ever.
So when I saw that, I was like, they stole our shit. They stole our shit.
Jay Dilla at 21. Metro at 20.
Mike, that's also when I realized they stole our shit, is when they put Metro and Hit in there, and they was the only 2 new producers to make the Billboard list, and they're the only 2 new producers to make our list, stealing our shit.
Yeah, and they actually had Hit Boy on the thumbnail, too. Hit Boy's at 19. Let me see what they said about Hit Boy. They said the Surf Club Mastermind has enjoyed many runs in hip-hop. During his rookie campaign, he unlocked his first Grammy win, courtesy of Jay-Z and Kanye's provocative club anthem, Niggas in Paris, 2011. Through the menacing, synthesizing cuts, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay. Then they say he found his second and third win in the mid to late 2010s when he helped whipped on the triumphant trophies and Sicko Mode and Nipsey Hussle's Racks in the Middle. Okay. Coop, you just went away for a second.
I just needed a minute to breathe.
Coop had to get the Pepto real quick. And most recently, Hit's latest reign refueled Nas's career as a rapper and producer, releasing 6 projects together over the last 3 years, including 2020's King's Disease, which earned Godson his first ever Grammy for Best Rap Album. Okay. Number 8.
It's like they watch our show and they've been taking cliff notes from our show when they even do the Hit Boy blurb.
I mean,
it sounds like shit.
How else will they know what to actually write about? No ID at number 18. Now, they didn't get this one from me.
They didn't get it from me either, Mike. They got that from your boy Yeezy. Yeezy taught them, Mike. Yeezy taught them. That's where they got that.
Number 17, 40. Who else does 40 actually produce for other than Drake?
Next.
Madlib is 16. I like that.
That's our shit.
But I don't understand how Madlib's here, and I don't think Alchemist is on here at all. I don't think that's right. Rick Rubin at 15. The Hitman at 14. The Hitman it's just so many people. That one's hard for me to quantify because it just doesn't seem fair. I get you.
Trackmasters made this list.
Yeah, exactly. Trackmasters are highly underappreciated. DJ,
I think Trackmasters could beat Hitman in a versus battle.
I think so too, and that's saying a whole lot.
Saying a lot.
That's saying a whole lot because there's a lot of them. Let me get some of these super chats before I finish this. Luis says, okay, no, I got that one. Bang on myself. Blah blah blah. This thing keeps taking me back, bro. I'm sorry. Okay, here we are. CJ Kid with the super chat says, Mike, I still play your verse from Respiration. That's what's up, because I don't even remember that verse. Leroy Green with the super chat says, A2HH, y'all, want to do an EP? My phone is right here. Leroy Green's going to be producing and giving us verses as well. We got to have a song featuring Leroy. OG Winston with the super chat says, y'all got to put me on to why Lil Jon gets slighted. Huh. We can talk about that.
Enough work. I think it's not enough work.
I think it's one-dimensional. I think that I think Jon coined himself as the king of crunk and put himself in a position where he couldn't do anything outside of that. Even when he was producing for Sierra, they were calling that stuff Crunk and B. Remember that? And I remember that Jon was really going hard with this whole Crunk Ain't Dead. He had the Crunk Ain't Dead chain, and I feel like as a producer, he locked himself into one subgenre that was kind of a fad at the time. That's probably why. But I know he got more juice than that. But I think people label Jon as that, crunk producer of that time period. Blow the Whistle special. That's a great track.
Mike, I already got song titles for our EP. Very problematic. Bar work. Stop stealing my shit. I already got song titles.
Rhythmic problems. Uncle Fran with the super chat says, Mike, before you go to the Killer Mike album, I have a list of very underground pods that rank at number 1. Only the Holy Trinity, A2HH, RRT, and Fresh Out. Don't have it pretty high.
Said it was number 2.
Well, Coop said it was number 2. I don't know what Rap Roundtable and Fresh Out have been saying about the Michael album, but you have to understand, Uncle Fram, I don't know what side of this you're on, actually, but if the grassroots podcasts aren't really ranting and raving about it to the level that the mainstream podcasts are, I don't know. I don't know what that says.
The industry album.
Yeah.
But
we need industry albums. We've covered this in past years. We need industry albums. I think that Soul Separately was the most industry album we were going to get for that year, right?
Great album.
Soul Separately is dope. Oh, my bad. Let me finish up this list, and then we can move on. DJ Quick at 13. Manny Fresh at 12. Pete Rock at 11. What's that?
Fresh ain't better than Quick, but keep going.
That's a good one, Coop. Pete Rock at 11. Just Blaze at 10. They got Just Blaze very high. Little Jay-Z worship going on.
That's that Jay-Z shit. That's that bullshit.
Timbaland's super high, too, for a hip-hop list. He's at number 9. And this is what I'm going to tell you. And I said this before. Yo, they actually got Fat Rabbit on here. Who knows about... You know what? This ain't nothing but Wikipedia shit at this point, man. Who pulls up Ludacris's Fat Rabbit for a Timbaland credit? They don't know that record. They don't.
I I bought up Fat Rabbit when we talked about Timberland last time. They're
You
stealing
did.
our shit. I bought up Fat Rabbit when we talked about Timberland. I just bought up Fat Rabbit.
Timberland doesn't.
I literally ended the combo saying Fat shit.
Did they even...
They're stealing our shit.
Let me see what they said about Missy, because I don't think they really counted the Missy stuff like that. Musical soulmate Missy, who's in... Yeah, they're talking about his genre bending. But if we're talking about straight up hip hop producers, Timberland's not number 9.
These suck ass niggas in the chat right now too.
Oh, of course they are. Hey, oh look, they got Swiss at 8. Well, this is what I'm gonna say. Neither one of them are in my top 25 hip hop producers. Timberland's up there when it comes to overall producers, but by no stretch, even if I included Timberland in this, there's no way in this green earth, in God's green earth, that Swizz Beatz is a better producer than Timberland on any scale. I don't know how anybody even can come to that conclusion.
Bill is at 21, but Swizz is at 8.
How the heck? So Swizz is a better producer than Dilla? What? I bet no. Maybe overall, sure. Hip-hop producer, you have to take a break after hearing that, Coop? Let me get to the super chat. This is ridiculous. CJ Kid with the super chat says, Coop, you wild today. Has to be the title. Yeah, we got to have a record like that, too. I'm going to rap over nothing but Swizz Beatz tracks on my EP, too. How about that? We can have a bonus track with me and Coop around.
It won't be our EP if you do that. It will be your EP. I won't do that.
You don't want to do that. I'll rhyme over Renegade, too. Uncle Fran with the super chat says, I said some very underground podcasts, Mike. Not mainstream. I got you. Swizz is at 8. Marley Marl is at 7. Now, I'm glad they gave Marley his props. Because a lot of people don't do that. I'm glad they gave Marley his props. Sorry for the noises in the back. Let me get up. Get this stuff off of here real quick. Swizz and Tim made the top 10 list because they just paid all them white people through that Versus contract that never belonged. Well, you know, Versus and Billboard
paid a lot of white people.
Versus and Billboard had dealings together. Remember, Billboard was the one that was actually choosing the winners of these Versus, so they got a relationship. Q-Tip is 6. I ain't mad at that. Can't be mad at that.
Hold on, Mike. Their top 7, though, is a hijack of our list.
Their top 7 looks just like you and I's list. Because I had the Neptunes at 6? They got them at 5. I think I had Marley or something. Yeah, I had Marley, Neptunes, Q-Tip, RZA, Preem, Ye, Dre. Yeah.
Only difference is I had Havoc in where you had...
the Neptunes?
Yeah, I had Havoc and you had the Neptunes.
So they got Neptunes at 5. They got RZA at 4. They got Premier at 3. Kanye at 2. And Dre at 1.
And Mike, I want to say this. The fact that Havoc and Alchemist didn't make this list, I want to know where the office is.
It's criminal. Especially the work that Havoc's putting in now. Especially the work that Alchemist is putting in now. It's criminal. Humble bragger.
Them niggas ain't make Shook One's Part 2 a Quiet Storm.
It's true. And people were coming to me because I had Metro over them. But, I mean, that's even wild to some folks. Because like you said, Havoc got some classics. Humble bragger with the super chat says, how ironic all the Jay-Z main producers are the top producers. If making Jay's birthday a holiday was bad enough. Did you see that clip? There's a councilwoman in Brooklyn that proposed to make December 4th a holiday in Brooklyn.
Keep going.
Okay.
We got bigger fish to fry. We got B-Dots and Elliots and Billboards and Umars and...
Well, yeah, so Umar Johnson... So Umar Johnson got on Joe Budden podcast, and he was going back and forth about, I guess Eminem's greatness, and he proclaimed that Eminem can't be the greatest rapper because he's white. and because hip hop is a black art form.
Hold on, Mike. I wanted to clarify this.
Mm-hmm.
He said one of the greats. I don't think he said greatest. I think he said one of the greats.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
Because I think that changes the scope of the conversation. Because if he were to say he couldn't be the greatest of all time, I'd be like, and you're right. But one of the greats, it's like, it ain't a nigga please moment, Mike, but it's close.
It's not because he's white. It's because of the lack of connectivity, and you know, from my perspective, right? Do you think so? Because it's part of it. It's part of it. I like Jump Around. I like the Beastie Boys a lot. You know how I fuck with the Beastie Boys, heavy.
Mike, License to Ill is my shit, but I'd be lying if I told you that I connected to all of the Beastie Boys shit. They white.
You don't connect the Car Thief? It's something about sonically. Right? And because, again, when you're using the Jackson 5's version of Parliament Funkadelics, I'll bet you there's a level of connectivity there. And this is what I'll say, and this is what makes
appreciation. Hold on, Mike. Are you talking appreciation or are you talking connectivity?
I'm talking connectivity.
Okay.
Because I think that the Beastie Boys are kind of in a different realm because they came up in New York when all of this stuff was going on. They were around it. You know what I mean? So they probably have a different experience than most, you know, white hip hop artists. They were there when answering the phone to get LL to come to the dorm room and record. So they were there. They were out with Rick Rubin. So their experience and their level of connectivity and what moves them from a hip hop sphere is slightly different than most. So that's probably why their connectivity is there. Now, this is what I will say about what Umar said. I think if it was said in a different way, I could kind of jive with it a little bit more. But I think the cultural differences make it very hard for a white rapper to be able to contend with somebody who grew up in the shit, like a Nas or like a Jay or shit, even with what Wu-Tang does. It's like, we know where hip-hop music comes from. It comes from those soul records, to be honest. I mean, James Brown's drums. And if you have to compete with people who grew up on that and whose parents were listening to that, and your parents weren't, and you had to learn late, it's going to be tough. Not saying it can't be done, but it's going to be tough to be able to compete with those people that it's a lot more natural for. You know what I mean?
I hear you, Mike. Here's the problem with what Dr. Umar is saying.
Mm-hmm.
We invented all this music shit, my nigga.
It's true.
We didn't just invent hip-hop. We invented jazz. We invented rock and roll. We invented the blues. Like, you name it, we invented that shit.
Electric guitar riffs, all that, yeah.
So, I know he's trying to uplift the culture, but it sounded like he was trying to contrive the culture a little bit because he musically is not aware of our full musical history and endeavors and really tried to pigeonhole us into this hip-hop space and make it seem like, well, he's white, so he can't be great in this space. If that's the case, none of these motherfuckers can be great in our space because we invented all this shit.
It's true. I think hip-hop is just one of the few we haven't abandoned.
So the Beatles and the Rolling Stones are disqualified.
Right.
David Bowie, Joni Mitchell, Janis Joplin, disqualified. You get what I'm saying? You can't just disqualify Eminem. You got to disqualify all the white people. That includes your Beastie Boys, Mike.
That's fair.
Because we invented all this shit.
And you know what? Hold on. Speaking of the Beasties, and you know what? We don't say this enough. When we talk about the impact, we minimize the impact of the Beastie Boys because they're white. Let's be real here. Like,
yes.
These guys are the ones who they were helping Rick Rubin formulate, you know, the way he was going to produce hip-hop records. Not to mention, of course, made the call to get LL there. And when you hear NWA, early NWA or NWA period, sonically they sound very Beastie Boy-esque. I remember, what's his name? The gentleman that, I won't say signed NWA first, but you know where NWA used to perform. He said the first time he heard Ice Cube, he sounded like Mike D from the Beastie Boys. Even when you listen, huh?
Talking about Jerry Heller punk ass?
No, not Jerry Heller. It's the black dude from the. Nah, you remember the where Dre got his start DJing? It'll come to me in a minute.
Oh, the club that he went.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat to tell me, but yeah, he was like, yo, when he first heard Cube sounded like the Beastie, and it is crazy he said that because I've always thought that. But yeah, I mean the Beastie Boys' impact is Alonzo. Thank you, Alonzo. He said that, and even when you listen to vocally where Eazy-E is, it's very Beastie Boy-esque as well. Even the rhythms. So
this is what I'm saying. Like, this is what I mean about contriving us. When Dr. Umar want to step to the plate and speak on this, I'm going to need him to be fully aware of our musical contributions as a whole to this culture and to this world.
That's a fair point.
Hip-hop.
That's a fair point.
We can't afford to step to the mic and be talking like this half-assed. I'm tired of expressing this. And it's mostly our quote-unquote black leaders that step to the mic half-assed.
I don't think there are any black leaders anymore. I think we just got a lot of talking heads and people lead themselves. But that's just my opinion. But you're right. I think that that's a great point. I mean, we started all these genres, and if he wants to come from that perspective, then that kind of erases that notion that we started those things. It's like, okay, we only started hip hop.
Right. Mike, we love Prince and Michael Jackson so much. You want to know why? Because they essentially stole back what had been stolen from us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't do R&B. We do everything.
They did everything.
They invented everything.
You know, it's funny, man. I saw a cover of the Dangerous album cover on one of these pages, and they said, describe Michael Jackson's Dangerous album in one word. And the first word that came to my mind was versatile. And then I thought about it, I was like, well, shit, all of his albums are versatile.
We invented this shit.
Yeah.
Prince and Mike are the personification of all the stuff that we invented because they literally did it all. It's like, what you need? You need a rock and roll song? Guess what? I do that better than them because we invented this. You need an R&B record? Guess what? Invented that too. We did it. Yeah. Want to hear a guitar riff? Play a little Computer Blue and let's go crazy for the people. Yeah. You feel me?
No,
it's like, oh, want to hear some jazz rhythms? Go ahead and play I Can't Help It by Michael Jackson. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like we invented shit. And so I hate when black men or quote-unquote black leaders sit up here and step to the mic and be like, yeah, we created rap, and so the white boy can't get in. Sit your ass down somewhere.
Yeah, I think there should be and see, I don't like those type of arguments when it comes to Eminem because it minimizes the reasons why he's not a top, you know what I'm saying, MC. Like, you could really break down why he's not, but to sit there and just say because he's white, and it's like, come on, man, that's a lazy argument. And it's an off-course argument, too. That's not the reason why he's not one of the greats. James, go ahead.
So let's just like reset the foundation of what Dr. Umar said. We created everything. Right. So don't make this about Eminem.
I agree.
Yeah, we created everything.
Well said. Great point. James with the super chat says, how y'all feel about DITC, mainly Diamond D? I love them. I mean, they just don't have as much work as most collectives.
Diamond D's done a lot of work. He deserves some honorable
mention.
Oh,
yeah, for sure. I'm talking about the DITC Digging in the Crates whole crew album. I remember when that shit dropped, man. That was like my senior year. That was all niggas.
And I don't know who's worse. I don't know if it's Budden and the homies that's really wrong for bringing this motherfucker on, or if it's him for not even knowing his own black history while he runs around the nation talking all this blackity black shit. It's like, you know, you could have took it to Muddy Waters. You could have took it to Clyde Stubblefield drumming for James Brown. Like, you could have took it to Prince and Michael. You could have took it to Little Richard. You could have took it to the Isley Brothers. Yeah. Don't sit up and pigeonhole us like that again and call yourself a leader in this community, because that's sucker-ass nigga shit. It is. I don't appreciate it. I'm sick of these dudes, Mike. Like, they don't
I could tell.
They don't know, for real. Like, all these dudes that we quote-unquote follow, like, they don't do nothing for us. They don't affect the vote. They don't affect our communities. They don't affect this environment in a positive way. They sure to be looking fresh and clean when I see him on TV, though. Sick of these niggas. Straight like that. I tell his ass to his face, too.
Well, I like some of the things that Umar says, but, you know, a lot of the things can be off course, too.
I like some of the stuff that he says, and I don't like a lot of the stuff that he says.
But yeah, I think it's dangerous to just say because he's white, he can't be one of the greats. It's like, well, the truth of the matter is, whether we like it or not, and whether Michael likes it or not, Mike D, that is, Eminem is one of the greats. I don't listen to his music like that, but at the end of the day, his impact is what it is. He's one of the greats. He's changed the game.
Mike, who's the greatest tennis player of all time in your opinion?
Best that I've ever seen, or just objectively? Objectively, it would have to be Federer, right? And either that or Joker. But the best that I've seen, in my eyes, is Nadal.
Okay. What if I told you Serena's better than all of them, though?
Oh, yeah. No, she is.
How Dr. Umar's playing looking now?
I guess I'm talking about, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
No. Because based on his claim, Serena can't be the GOAT in her sport. You feel what I'm saying?
No, she is the greatest. She's the most awarded. She's dominant in ways that, you know, the other guys that I mentioned just aren't.
And no, Mike, and even with Nadal and Djokovic and Federer, well, they're Swiss. Federer's Swedish. Djokovic is, I want to say, oh, God, him and Jokic are from the same place. Fuck. Escaping me. It's not Croatia.
Somebody in the chat to help you out.
Nadal is Spanish.
Yep.
It wasn't invented by any of those guys. Like, the best players that I've ever seen, Steffi Graf, who's German. Germans didn't invent tennis. Nadal is Spanish. Serena's black from America.
Well, somebody said Michael Jordan can't be the greatest basketball player then, right?
Then a white guy invented basketball? A Canadian guy invented basketball, Mike?
He did, yep.
A Canadian white guy. So he's probably French. So I guess Michael Jordan and LeBron out of this, we got to go to Steve Nash. You see how you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it gets ridiculous, yeah.
But because if we turn it around the other way, then that takes away Tiger Woods. Anybody? Tiger Woods, anybody?
Leroy Green with the super chat says, Mike, someone would have to be able to articulate why M is the greatest in the black art form, and that's not going to happen. And I respect his skills, but he is not expressing his art form better than us. This is what I'll say. Let's look at Tupac, right? Tupac's background, from his mother being a Black Panther to, you know, just his dealings with the police and just the black experience. It's going to be very difficult for Eminem or somebody that comes from Eminem's environment to be able to make those levels of connection in a genre that is about the black experience. It's going to be very difficult. Not saying it can't be done, but it's just going to come off so natural for somebody like Pac. Even when Pac would talk, it didn't even have to be a song. Like, even his interviews connected. It connected to the experience, and he had the history. He had the background to go with it. And if you don't come from that, and you don't even have to be white, if you don't come from that, it's going to be very tough for you to be ranked over somebody like that. It's tough. AJ3 with the super chat says, I'm going to say hip-hop is an agent. F-white supremacy. He said Umar said hip-hop is an agent. F-white supremacy. I need to check out the whole interview. I've seen the clips. People sent it to me, and, you know. Tupac, a talk rapper. Yeah, he is. Well, speaking of which, I kind of feel the same thing about Killer Mike. I feel like Killer Mike's speaking is just as powerful as his music, if not more powerful. I think that we want to talk about disconnect. Disconnect's not just with the white rappers either. And obviously we're seeing that there's some level of disconnect here where you have the mainstream and, you know, many listeners saying Michael's album of the year. And you have other people saying, no, it's not. I think Killer Mike is in a tough position being from the South and coming out of the Dungeon family. He doesn't have the funk that the Dungeon family has. He doesn't have the bounce that many of the other Southern acts have. And I think he's an artist that doesn't have the base where he represents. You know what I mean? And I think his quality is there, but I think that's where the mix-up is. You know what I'm saying?
I had same conversation with Andrew earlier on Mirror Music about how, well, he's not a top 5 rapper to ever come out of this city. If he is top 10, he's on the back end of the top 10. This is clearly his best project, and it took him years to make, and it has a lot of help.
Mm-hmm.
And about those things, I can't give it Album of the Year over Magic 3. Now, here's what it does have. It has a nostalgic feel that we like from our rappers because it is Mike for the first time stepping to the mic and explaining himself in terms of how he grew up, where he grew up, and you feel the gospel, Southern Baptist chord striking feel to the project. And so it has a feeling that you want an album to have that's an accurate representation and depiction of the man that you see and that you hear rap. But that'll make it the rap album of the year. And
well said, Coop. I agree with that. I think he put his best foot forward. He probably worked the hardest on this effort. This, like you said, is his best effort to date. And I think that with all of those things encompassing and him being who he is and him being able to speak to it to mainstream media, boom, album of the year.
Right. Because the activist in acquisition of real estate properties has elevated his profile outside of the rap community. But let's be honest about what it is inside this rap community. You consider Killer Mike an A-list rapper?
No, I don't. And I say that respectfully. It's just being honest.
I say that respectfully, too. And so for me, the fact that somebody who I know has spent 2 decades in this rap game has never made a project close to this quality, in my opinion. Like, I think this project is better than any album Jadakiss has made. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. I agree with that.
Album. So the fact that he can make a better album than somebody who I know is a top 15 to 20, 25 MC all time, the fact that it can compete with the GOAT's album of the year and be an album of the year contender with the guy who is the greatest MC of all time, I think it's astonishing on a few levels because, quite frankly, rappers of his stature don't make album of the year contenders. Here's what I said on Mirror Music earlier. There's never been a rapper that wasn't a top 5 rapper in Texas that made an album of the year contender. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
There's never a rap outside of the top 5. There's never been a rapper that's not a top 5 rapper in Queens that's made an album of the year contender. There's never been a rapper from Compton or LA that wasn't a top 5 rapper in that area that's ever made an album of the year contender. So what he achieved is very, very impressive because on a fundamental basis of who the actual player, or in this case MC is, we've never really seen anything like it.
And 22 years into his career too.
Yeah, all of those things are great. But this is what it is. It's like somebody making the All-NBA team for the first time in 22 years don't make them the MVP of the league. And
I couldn't have said it better myself.
He's getting a lot of credit for who he is outside of rap and for the fact that he made something so great so late. And it really is an anomaly because he's not, I don't care what anybody says, he's not Big Boy or CeeLo or Andre or T.I. or Luda or even Chainz on the mic or Jeezy. Because they all have catalogs that speak to who they are and where they're in Atlanta.
And a level of charisma, too. And the connectivity in, like you said, those records.
Right.
What would you say?
I said earlier, it's like, is Killer Mike a better rapper than Jeezy? Hell yeah. Is this Thug Motivation 101? Hell no.
I was just going to ask you, what do you think Killer Mike's biggest song is in the city of Atlanta?
Mike, I asked the same question to Andrew earlier. I asked him what his favorite song was on Michael, and I was like, now think about, and I literally told him this, I said, now think about T.I.'s biggest records. Think about Luda's biggest records. Think about Big Boy's biggest records and tell me that he competes even within his city with those guys. So the feat is phenomenal. Stop giving people extra credit because they tried harder and exceeded the expectations that are past their ceiling. Like, this is the ceiling for him, and I understand it. And I'm saying all of this respectfully.
No. These are great critiques because I feel the same way.
But it's not the album of the year. Like, how about this, Mike? There are 3 or 4 songs on Magic 2, which isn't the album of the year, that's better than everything on Michael.
OG Winston says, speaking of Magic 2, he says, unpopular opinion, but the back half of Magic 2 is better than the entire Magic 3 album.
He's right. But it's only a half, though.
Yeah.
And that would be the problem. And I realized something when I wouldn't listen to Magic 2. I might have Magic 2 at 3 or 4 for the year.
Well, let's get to that. Should we go album of the year first? Because this is what I got. And let me know if I'm missing anything. And people in the chat, too, because we want to do this together. Because I think we're going to start rolling out these end of the year awards in the next couple of days leading up to the new year. I got album of the year, verse of the year, breakthrough artist of the year, feature of the year, producer of the year, track of the year or beat of the year, live performance of the year, freestyle of the year, music video of the year, lyricist of the year, MC of the year, collaboration album of the year. What do you think about comeback album of the year?
I don't know anybody came back this year. Who came back?
Shit, Michael could be considered a comeback album, really.
Mike, what status was he at ever as a solo MC that makes this a comeback album?
I don't think there's really any comebacks this year.
It was never like that to begin with, respectfully. Even down in the city, it was never like that because of the connectivity. Like I was explaining to Andrew today, I was like, Mike, niggas be talking about Run the Jewels down here in Atlanta?
No. I'm not saying radio is the end all be all. And obviously in Atlanta, the clubs mean a lot. I've never heard a Run the Jewels record on the radio or in the clubs ever in Atlanta. I just never have. Now, the records that I've heard with Killer Mike on them that have gotten burned out here is Kryptonite and Reaction. The Reaction remix or whatever, where he had Bone Crusher and Troy and all them on it.
Like, his most memorable stuff is The Whole World, the Bone Crusher record, the Kryptonite record.
Yeah. Should we do disappointing album of the year? I know we try to stay away from negative superlatives, but...
What was your disappointing album?
West Side.
Ditto.
Slept on album of the year. Should we do... Huh?
Go ahead.
I was going to say MC/producer collabo album of the year.
You want to start top? Like album of the year?
Yeah, let's start with album of the year.
Magic 3. Listen to what I made this point earlier too.
I think it is.
I'm saying, if you were to take No Tears, and I'm using No Tears because it has a similar motif as Slow It Down. If you were to swap out Slow It Down and No Tears on Magic 3, it would be Runaway album of the year. Just off the strength of that one record sliding over to another project.
Esquire with the super chat says, Killer Mike is a dope artist. In my opinion, mainstream publications hold him high to build credibility. Run the Jewels affiliation and the Kendrick shout out helped as well. I think so too. And it's funny you say that about the Kendrick shout out on To Pimp a Butterfly. I remember they asked Killer Mike about that in an interview, and I thought that was weird back then. Like, well, I mean, like, what do you want me to say? Like, you think this dude who's a rapper who listens to hip hop doesn't know who I am? And I was here like 10 some odd years before him. So yeah, I do agree. I think that Kendrick shout out did a lot.
So here's Magic 3. Do we agree?
I'm with that. I'm with Magic 3 being album of the year. Verse of the year.
J. Cole on First Person Shooter. The end. It's not even that much of a conversation.
You know, it's funny because I was thinking verse of the year and feature of the year were very similar. But you know what? I might give J. Cole feature of the year on All My Life.
I was thinking fucking Wayne on Never Die on Magic 3.
Oh, Wayne went crazy on there. That's a great feature, actually. I'm not mad at spreading that around. Yeah.
Because who would have thought that they would have came together so well on a track like that together?
Right, and I didn't know Wayne was going to spaz like that. I thought Wayne, I didn't know what to expect really, but Wayne went in. Mm-hmm. I agree with you when you talk about first-person shooter and the moment being so big and J. Cole doing what he did. Now, is it bar for bar the best verse of the year? That could be argued, but the moment is huge.
It's the verse is very Biggie-like to me in the sense that he did some of everything. Like, he switched his flow about 3 times. He had punchlines. He had introspection. He talked this shit and was arrogant. Like when he said, right now I'm feeling like Muhammad Ali. Like, he said that shit with the conviction. Like, he's like, yeah, I know I'm the fucking dude right now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Different. It hit different when you're talking that way. Confidence matters in rap. It's like, no, he knows who he is right now. Like, even when he's talking about his album, he said, it's called The Fall Off, but really it's ironic to me. Like, he talked shit on that record. Mike, when he said, not Russia, but I apply pressure to your cranium, stop that.
Esquire with the super chat says, more white fans equals more critical acclaim. Run the Jewels effect. Well, a lot of the publications start tapping into what you're doing when you start getting that fan base. Breakthrough Artist of the Year, I was thinking Jay Skis.
I'm with you on Ski.
Because even, from Abolish Uncertainties and the record that he did with Conway, he's
yeah, and the drum work mixtape.
Yeah.
With him, I was going crazy on there.
Yeah.
Mike, do you know that Love and Che Noir are making an album together?
I know. Yeah.
Did you know Honey Caesar's pregnant?
I didn't know that. Congratulations.
Yeah. She just announced it on Christmas.
Oh, that's what's up. How'd I miss that? That's what's up. Well, yeah, it was Christmas. I was going to say. That's how you missed it. Feature of the year, we're good with Wayne. Producer of the year.
It's hit again. He made 2 more top 5 albums this year for like the fucking 3rd straight year.
How many years in a row is Hit Boy Producer of the Year?
I mean,
and I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying he earned it.
Essentially, the last 3 years have been between him and Alchemist and Metro. And so here's what I'll tell you. Magic 3 and Magic 2 are both better than The Great Escape, which is the Alchemist best produced project this year with Larry June, in my opinion.
I think it was Hip Hop DX that gave Alchemist Producer of the Year this year.
They're wrong.
Yeah, okay. And I'm trying to see how they got to that. Because maybe in previous years you could say that possibly, but Hit Boy got this one over him. 3P. Okay, track of the year. What's the best produced track of the year?
It might be Fuck You Mean by Gunna.
That's what I think. Yeah, that's what I think.
I'm okay with that.
Because when I'm thinking with best beat, I'm thinking like, let's just say, remember back in the MTV BET days where there was always a beat that was playing in the background or taking people to commercial break or playing during cribs or whatever? What would that beat be in this year? And I think that would be Fuck You Mean.
I'm with you. Here was my hot take today, too, after listening to Magic 3. As much as I love Magic 3, KD3 is better.
Yeah.
KD3 Mike. Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about Magic, too, after we're done with this, because that was a big, big point in this show. And Magic just celebrated 2 years already. Crazy. And I saw a lot of people saying that as great as Magic is, they still got Magic 3 and KD 3 over it. And even if that's the reality, there's something special about Magic, though. Something very. I don't know if it's just one of those you had to be there things, but yeah, it feels like that. We'll get to that, though. Chris Daughtery with the super chat says, "Cool, Mike. I like Skyzoo's album over Mike." Okay. I like Skyzoo's album a lot, too. And I think Skyzoo's album was my pick for slept on album of the year. Song of the year. What are you thinking? Because I got my thoughts here.
We're being objective?
Yep.
Mike, every time that Sexy Red and Drake record comes on, people go crazy.
It's a big record.
It's massive.
Well, you know what? I was going to go in a similar vein where people going crazy and people going crazy over a record. I think Quavo and Future's Turn Your Click Up.
Okay.
And that song came out, this summer? It's still getting burned. Like, I hear people pulling up to that. Like, Turn Your Click Up is massive. And, Future did his thing on that. Honestly, that could be feature of the year, too, because Future's presence is all over that record.
Agreed.
We could put that in the chat real quick. Song of the year between, what is it, Rich Baby Daddy?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Let's see. 2023.
I just know when it drops, girls lose their mind.
Yeah, it's a big record.
No, I don't think you understand. 50-year-old women, 40-year-old women, 30-year-old, 20-year-old women. It's like every time it plays in the A, it's like literally women stop what they're doing and start twerking. It doesn't matter where they are. It doesn't matter
Baby Daddy and. All right, Turn Your Click Up, Rich Baby Daddy. Let's see. Since we're talking about something as big as Song of the Year, we'll let this one get to 100 votes. Andrew Williams with the super chat says, Coop finally admits that KD3 is better than Magic 3. Growth on this show. Growth.
You know what it is? It's the start off, because there's nothing at the front half of Magic 3 that hits legit and fun and Mike and Quincy do. It's those 3 records specifically where it's okay, you got it.
KD3 is insane, man.
It's absurd, Mike.
It's a great album.
It might be a top 5 album from him, and that seems absurd to say that.
It's by every metric. I couldn't even say for this era, for that age. If this came out in the 90s, it'd be a great album.
It would actually probably do better in the 90s, because it'd probably be triple or quadruple platinum. Mike, I was in the James room.
I saw the video.
Came on, and I was like, this is crazy. I was like, this is absurd. I'm like, this is usually when a record like that is on the back half of your album's a classic. I don't care.
I don't say this a lot in this era. That record right there is a banger. It should have been all over the radio. New York radio, and I know y'all say New York radio is irrelevant, but New York radio still failed y'all legend by not playing that record. I tweeted out to Ebro, explain to me why this record's not getting played on New York radio, because I don't understand it. It hits everything. Everything.
KD3 is better than Pray for Paris and Daytona.
It is. It's something special about Pray for Paris. But, if we're being objective here, the way this guy's rhyming, it just can't get overlooked. So in comparison.
And the solo mission of it. Pray for Paris got a lot of help.
It has a lot of help. Daytona, I love Daytona.
Not fucking with KD3.
But
no. Victory Lap by Nip, no. Alfredo, no.
I'll say this. Daytona being 7 tracks hurts it up against KD3.
It does, because it literally KD3 literally lap it in quality records.
With no help. With no help. Yeah.
No help whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's the best rap album of the last. I mean, shit, Mike. KD3 might be the best rap album since The Pimp a Butterfly.
Mad Max with the super chat.
So
that's saying a lot. Mad Max with the super chat says, bent by 40 41, Turn Your Click Up, and F You Mean by Gunna, or 3 songs. Bent by 41. I don't think I heard Bent by 41. But at least Mad Max has Turn Your Click Up and Fuck You Mean. We've heard those records. I'm sure if I play it, I've heard it. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So song of the year, it looks like Turn Your Click Up. We only got 31 votes on this. I don't know if people are fans of these records.
Yeah, because people want us to pick some rapidy rap shit.
Right. Live performance of the year, I got Scarface's Tiny Desk.
Easy. Landslide victory.
What about freestyle of the year? Because I don't know if I came across any free, and I wanted to ask the people, what do y'all think 2023's freestyle of the year is? Maybe we could just put that on the people, because I'm trying to remember what stands out. Because the J. Cole freestyle, all that was like last year, the year before.
Nobody super stood out to me this year on the freestyle tip from what I heard. I was just thinking about Love's last freestyle that I heard, but that's just because it's the last dope freestyle that I heard. I don't know if it's you know what I'm saying?
Right. Let us know in the chat or super chat or whatever, you know what I'm saying, what freestyle of the year should be. Video of the year, I'm going to go with first person shooter.
That's easy.
That was the easiest one of all of these.
The Scarface Tiny Desk in the first person shooter video is like next. Yeah.
Lyricist.
The video is great. The video is actually better than the song, and Cole has the verse of the year on the song. What does that say about the video?
Yeah. All right, so this is what I was going to ask too. MC of the year and lyricist of the year. MC of the year is more of an artist accolade, where lyricist of the year is just straight up bar for bar. So those are the two differences, right? Lyricist of the year. Because MC of the year, I think, I know they're going to say it's
you would have to make an album.
You broke up for a second. What you say?
I would think you'd have to make an album. You'd have to make an album to be in that conversation, correct?
Correct.
So that's not.
I mean, is Nas lyricist of the year and MC of the year?
You can make an argument for Wayne on both accounts, because Wayne did release an album, but it wasn't that good, and he does have Welcome to Collie Grove.
Yeah.
With Chains, and he blistered all his features this year like Cole did.
Yeah.
But Mike, I don't lean on Nas's greatness. I lean on who makes albums.
Yeah.
He made two. Again.
Very lyrical too.
Look, Larry June made 2 albums too. Do you think Larry June's 2 albums are more lyrical than Nas's 2 albums?
No.
What about Boldy? Like, no. Like, yeah. Like,
the lyricism.
I told you, it's like, if y'all want us to stop talking about his old ass, tell these niggas I said, do better.
Yeah, people got to step up.
People need to step the game up, Mike.
I love what Skyzoo did lyrically. I love what Elzai did lyrically. But
one project.
Yeah, it's like one versus two.
1 versus 2. Simple arithmetic, not Chinese arithmetic.
Some of the most lyrical songs, because like you said, Magic 3, let's just be honest here. Even if Magic 2 didn't exist, Magic 3 can get Nas Lyricist of the Year alone.
But the fact that Magic 2 has shit like Pistols on your album cover and slow it, Mike, he went crazy on Office Hours with 50. He went berserk on there. Office Hours is berserk.
What do you think about Ransom? Because I think he's a contender too.
1 versus 2.
Ransom's album was pretty strong lyrically. But
did he 2 strong albums lyrically?
Yeah. Listen, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here, and
no, tell niggas to rap better and to do more work. Shit.
So Nas is MC of the Year and Lyricist of the Year. You know how this is gonna look.
Want us to stop handing him shit? Then tell these other niggas to stop letting this old dude out rap them and outwork them.
Yeah.
You probably call him an old dude. The nigga is 50 though. He's 50 and he's out rapping these niggas and he's outworking these niggas. The shit is embarrassing.
Speaking of being outworked, what do you think about Currency? Like, I feel like the type of year Currency's had and has been having consistently, We need to have something for that. Like,
I like him and JD's album would be my slept on album of the year, Mike.
you know what? I was gonna say Jeezy's album.
I'd say the Currency and JD is more slept on.
Okay. I can't argue with that because I actually like that album. I think that it came from left field and it actually connected in a way that I wasn't even sure what I was going to hear. Currency's versatility is through the roof.
It is. He's on Killer Mike's album too. The shit with him and Chain.
Disappointing album of the year, we said that's Westside.
Yeah, that's Westside. We expect greatness, and when we don't get greatness, we are going to call it out. So,
video of the year, Freestyle. What did you guys say, Freestyle? They said Hood to Hood is a skip. No, Hood to Hood's hard. I like Hood to Hood.
If Hood to Hood is a skip, then half these albums that came out this year are skips. Shit.
Yeah, Hood to Hood's a good song. There ain't no comeback artist.
Hood to Hood me to live and die in L.A. vibes, Mike.
Yeah, I love to live and die in L.A.
Hail Mary.
You know what, man? They're really about the Michael and Quincy this thing too, because MC/producer collabo of the year, that's hitting us.
Next.
Is there a rap and R&B collabo?
Actually, you want to know what, Mike? I love what Larry
I was thinking that too. Larry June and Alchemist.
I was actually going to say Cardo.
Oh.
Night Shift.
Night Shift is crazy.
I felt like that was beautiful. So if we want to give it to them, I'll give it the. Because here's the thing: is that like I don't even know how to call it. There's something about the way the Night Shift feel that I just fuck with.
Well, it's kind of like what you were saying earlier, man, with Michael Jordan and all of these MVPs, man. That's certain years Carl got it, certain years Magic got it, Barkley, Olajuwon. But that level of consistency.
Olajuwon earned his MVP.
Mm-hmm. I feel like all of them did.
Nah, I don't know about that Magic year, that Barkley year, that Karl Malone year.
Karl Malone earned that.
No, he didn't, Mike. That was the one that they really stole. That was the one that said, we just tired of handing Mike everything. Karl Malone didn't deserve that shit.
So we got Album of the Year, Verse of the Year. There's no comeback Album of the Year. Breakthrough Artist of the Year, Featured Verse. Feature of the Year. I don't even want to call it Feature Verse. Feature of the Year, we got Wayne, right? Mm-hmm. Producer of the Year, Hit. Track of the Year, Fuck You Mean. Live Performance of the Year, Scarface, Tiny Desk. There's no Freestyle of the Year yet. I don't know what the people in the chat said. Video of the Year, First Person Shooter. Lyricist of the Year, Nas. MC of the Year, Nas. Collaboration Album of the Year, that's Kylie Grove too, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Actually, Mike, I might change my slept on album of the year to Armin's album, Mike.
That's a good one.
Together with Scott Storch. Armin got together with Scott Storch, and that was a really, really dope album. And it seems like we were the only pod to even really plug it.
Okay.
And so nothing Currency and JD, but I'm gonna switch that Currency JD to Armin and the Mean album.
I'm not mad at that.
Because it's slept on, and
it's got a lot on it.
Slept on Currency is at this point because he's got a niche market.
Joe Young with the super chat says, "Finally seeing KD3 is the best. It hasn't been out that long. 5 mics. Keep coming, guys. It's like a '90s album. Mike, Stop Kanye ain't better than Dr. Dre. Gotta go do your homework. Great content." Well, I wanted to give Kanye that shot at the title, and the champ won. It's just what it is. It was tough. I knew what was coming for me. Armin is cheeks. Y'all wow. I don't know, man. I see what you're saying though. Currency has his market. He has his people that are rocking with him. So it's hard to say that he's quote unquote slept on in that facet.
Right. Ty and David said 1-800 Nas and Hit is a skip. I listened to that today. You're bugging.
Nah.
That's a great album closer. Not a good album closer, a great album closer.
Slept on album. I think we pretty much hit everything with the exception of Freestyle of the Year. Are there any rap and R&B collaborations that need to be spoken of? Because that kind of just isn't the thing anymore.
Yeah. Nobody's doing the R. Kelly Jay-Z thing anymore, okay?
Hey, best of both worlds. You know, that nigga Jay was snapping on there, man.
Not really, but okay.
He's like, don't you know what he say, I eat eat ether and spit acid, weak bastards.
Yeah,
he was going in.
It was alright. It was solid.
R. Kelly was going in too. Turn your click up one.
Watch the Throne.
No, Watch the Throne's better than that for sure. Yeah, I think that's pretty much superlatives out there. We don't have a freestyle of the year. Coast Contra. Okay. Coast Contra freestyle of the year. Go check it out.
Yeah, I'm about to check it out.
Yeah, we'll go check it out. All right. Well, Magic, before we get out of here, Magic celebrated an anniversary. 2 years. And sure, do I have it here? I think I do have it here. I want to get there we go. Got it on the screen. It's the back cover. Speechless. Meet Joe Black, Ugly, 4016 Building, Hollywood Gangster, Wolf for the Children, Wave Gods, feature ASAP Rocky, DJ Premier, The Truth, and Dedication. Now, quick story time, man. Like, a lot of people really got onto this podcast based on this album. Now, I don't know particularly how that happened. I think, obviously hitting Nas on a run.
Point.
Yeah.
Call it point.
Mm-hmm. And people.
Point.
Oh, go ahead. Say that.
I said it's called a tipping point in Magic, and the media's lack of coverage of Magic and our coverage of it was our tipping point.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It was that marriage between our coverage of the media's lack thereof, coverage of Nas and Hit Boy and the run that they had going on, and people wanted us to speak on it. It came out on Christmas Eve. I think I had come down with what I think was COVID now, but, I tested negative, but I was feeling horrible. And people just kept hitting us up like, yo, when are y'all going to go live on this? When are y'all going to go live on this? And we went live. We posted it up a couple of days ago for the anniversary. But, yeah, that was a tipping point moment. And the fact that every media outlet at that time, like, don't let them fool you now. They talk about, 6 albums between Hit and Not. They were not covering this album. They tried to act like this album didn't exist. They tried to sweep this album under the rug because it came out at the end of the year. He had dropped 2 albums in 1 year, and at that time, it was unheard of. Now it seems a little bit routine when it comes to Nas and Hit. And they tried to act like this didn't happen. And then you had Rosenberg and Cypher Sounds out there trying to play this album like it wasn't as dope as it was. So it was a lot going on, and we were sitting here with the people. I wish we had a station head to do when it dropped, but that was KD3's moment, and that was an incredible moment for the show too.
Look,
but yes,
we didn't know about station head yet because the plug hadn't told me about station head yet because I didn't know the plug, and I'm pretty certain that the reason that I know the plug now and that me and the plug are friends is because of my coverage and your coverage of this here rap album, sir.
Magic is important. And I will arguably say Magic is the most important album in this show's history.
No, it is. It's not even.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. That was the moment.
That was the moment. And
because people tell us all the time, like, that's when I got on to you guys. I don't even know how many subscribers we had at that point, but when I went back and looked at the original show had like 18,000 views or whatever. So I think that was kind of the one that, got a lot of people on. What's your favorite song on Magic?
What's my what?
What's your favorite song on Magic?
Well, a couple things. First of all, I want to remind people that when you're listening to this album, and I did listen into it on the day that it came out, like on its anniversary, but in the end for the first time in a long time, the fact that the hip-hop media failed to cover this album is one of the greatest travesties that I've seen, because up until the point that we heard KD3, as far as bar work is concerned, Mike, ain't no old head ever put in work like he put in on Magic. We had never heard a rapper literally jump into the time machine and spit that shit like he was in his prime again. And keep in mind, his prime is the best lyrical prime that we've seen outside of maybe Rakim's. And so the fact that this guy at, 48 years old at the time?
Insane.
Made something like, because here's the thing. 83 is a better album. I prefer Magic 3. But if we're talking about some bars, my nigga, you know what I'm saying?
That feel, that moment, like, I called you.
Rap.
I think I called you, and I was like, yo, I didn't know he had, because we knew that KD1 and KD2 were dope albums. I like going back and looking at our original broadcast from each of those releases. Like KD1, we were like, yo, this is way doper than I thought it was going to be. KD2, it's like, yo, they did it again. They really got something here. And Magic, I was like, yo, I didn't know if you told me those records were recorded in 98, I would have believed it.
No, Mike, it's like Mike Tyson's right hook uppercut combination in 86. It's like Ali's jab. It's like Joe Frazier's hook. It's a heavyweight shot. Not a regular heavyweight shot. Put niggas on the canvas with this one.
And I think when I heard Magic and when we spoke to Magic, I was like, it's got the number one spot. That's what it is. That's what it was.
How about this? This was the album that made us realize, oh shit, like, he's the greatest rapper of all time and the greatest rapper in the game right now. Yeah. It happened with one project. This is the project that it happened. It's like, so he's the GOAT, and it's clear now that he's the GOAT, and he's also the best guy smoking right now. As in, like, put him in the ring with anybody right now.
And one of the things that I thought was really impressive with the project, you could tell how current it was with some of the things that he was saying. Dolph had just passed, you know what I mean? It was like it's like, yo, he just made this.
Just made it.
It's not something that was just laying around on some lost tapes type stuff. This is like, yo, he's rapping like this at this moment.
Mike, I told you, and I remember this from my interview, I was like, Mike, he's never talked his shit like this before. Like at the end of 4016, he said, I told niggas it's not a game. He never talked like that. Like for the entirety of his career, he never talked shit like that. Oh, he knew what type of zone he was in. Because here's the thing about it. Those first 5 records, that's probably the best stretch of all the runs on one album.
Speechless, Meet Joe Black, Ugly, 4016 Building, Hollywood Gang.
Yeah, that's Mike. That's the 5-piece. That's the 5-piece with a biscuit, a little jalapeno pepper on the side. Get you some honey, get you some hot sauce. Take that, put that in the bag. Those 5 records in a row, because that was the thing. Those 5 records were so classic that by the time you got the Woo for the Children, you were still like, this is still album of the year, even with Woo for the Children.
That's the other thing. We already had our cutoff for album of the year, and the people made us consider this for 2021's album of the year. And it was between that album and KD2. KD2 had that year locked. It was a runaway favorite. And then this came.
I mean, Mike, Woo for the Children and Wave Gods are the weak records on this album.
Yeah. Chaos with the super chat says, does Magic 3 have 4 songs like Speechless, Meet Joe Black, Wave Gods, and Dedication? I think Magic and KD3 are the classics.
I've always
I'm going to be honest. I'm with that too. I think those 2 are the best to me. But I feel what you're saying as far as the lyricism of Magic 3. I get that. But if we're talking about just listening, aesthetic, connecting, I'm going to go KD3 Magic.
Yeah. No. I'm okay with that. How about this? Like, KD3 and Magic are classics right now, right? Right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's been 2 years, right? It's safe to say Magic is a classic, right?
Yeah, it is. To me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Fuck you. I'm saying like objectively speaking.
Yeah,
like,
I think so. I mean, it's harder to quantify what classics are today, but yeah.
Like, how about this,
It
Mike?
sticks.
You love Daytona. In your heart of hearts, do you think Daytona's better than Magic? Because you call Daytona a classic. Do you think Daytona's better than Magic? Because I don't.
I do.
You don't have
Not
it.
by
Where's
a lot.
the because my performance goes to Nas. Are you sure that these beats are better than the beats on Daytona? Because Meet Joe Black beat wise is some other shit. 4016. There's not one record on Daytona that bangs the way 4016 bangs. I'm sorry,
oh man, Santeria. You got Infrared. The games we play is crazy.
I'm sorry, Mike. So is Meet Joe Black.
Leroy Green with the super chat says, did Nas even do promo for Magic? So how did they ignore it? You know how they ignored it, Leroy Green. You were here. They wouldn't review it. Like
we're not about to.
We were sitting there waiting for reviews. They weren't reviewing it.
We're not arguing with you 2 years later about this shit. You understand? You know.
Don't act brand new, Leroy Green. For the audience that is just now joining us, Leroy was with us 2 years ago while all this was happening.
Look, here's how long ago it was, Mike. We thought Leroy really might be Memphis Bleak. He was caping and capping for Jay.
Yeah, we thought Leroy was actually Memphis Bleak. I'm not totally sold that he's not, but it took our Patreon where we actually had a conversation with Leroy Green live for us to know that he's not really Memphis Bleak. Max with the super chat says, the truth was the best rapping he's done in years. Yeah, I agree.
It was verse of the year.
Yeah.
It was verse of the year. It wasn't even, I told you, it's like, damn, it's like Lauren had it on his album that just came out 3 months ago until he did that shit on The Truth. And here's the thing about it. There's verse of the year contenders all over Magic. It's just the truth. It's just like, the truth is, you know what the truth is? It's the what goes around of Magic, kind of like Stillmatic, how you get to the end of the album and you're like, but the best song lyrically is right there on the backside. That's what the truth is on there. Kind of like Stillmatic had all those bangers up front. Magic has all those bangers up front. But the second to last record is like, oh my God, it's like he can still do that.
That was the thing. And that's what makes Magic different. Because KD3, at this point, I wasn't too surprised anymore. But Magic, I didn't know he could still do that. And I felt like, and we said this in the broadcast, I'm sure, with KD and KD2, he had upped his song-making abilities to that level where it was like, you know what, this ain't really about killing it on the mic like that, but it's about existing, getting your point across, and connecting with the record. And he was doing that masterfully. I didn't expect him to go out there and rap like he was rapping on The Truth, but the fact that he made an album where he just did that straight, like, that's flexing. It's literally Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay and saying, you know what, I can still put up 35 touchdowns in a season without Belichick in a whole new system, you know what I'm saying, with a whole new personnel, first year here. Oh yeah, win a Super Bowl too.
Mike, here's what it is really. It is his true GOAT moment. It's the moment where he separated himself literally, not just from Jay, but from everybody. And it's like, no, this guy's the greatest MC of all time. Because I guarantee you, listen to what I'm saying. What he did on Magic is not happening for anybody at that late stage in their career ever again.
I mean, listen, we can list out our top 10, 15 right now. And I love them all. You know we love them all. The only one that's rapping at that level like that right now will probably be Black Thought, right? And Black Thought doesn't have the career that some of those other guys have where we could even compare it to that.
And he definitely doesn't have Nas's catalog for it to be a comparison.
No. K. Nicole with the super chat says, I had an emotional connection to KD too because it reminded me of why I love hip hop. Once I heard Magic, I knew this man was officially the GOAT, and it was Vince Carter over for everyone else. Well said. TJ with the super chat says, second verse on The Truth is filthy. I mean, it is. Chaosy with the super chat says, Magic was the moment that it dawned on people that Nas was in his third prime. It's classic and a pivotal moment of the run. It is. I think it is the most important moment in the run. not just in our show. Because, like you said, that right there is the closer.
So this is what I'm saying. You think it's Tom Brady? I think it's the shot in Utah.
Really? Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like
I can see that.
If you're wondering who the best ever was, if you're wondering, like, remember, it's that whole sequence of plays. Mike steals the ball from Malone, comes back up, pushes by Russell off, hits the shot, hits the pose. Magic is the pose of the shot in Game 6 in Utah. Like, go right there.
Yeah.
There he is.
Because at that point, it's hard to make an argument for anybody else without, without being biased. I mean, to be completely unbiased, it's hard to make an argument for anybody else after that.
Think somebody is greater than him? Go show me their last great Mike performance that's comparable to Magic, and that's my point.
That's a great point to make.
You go, he did everything. Listen, Rakim's last performance like that was Let the Rhythm Hit Him, Mike. Jay's last performance like that was probably the Black Album. Stop that. It's over.
Bar-wise, Magic and the Black Album are comparable in that sense. I will give you that. I would say the Black Album has more versatility with the, production choices and the approach. But if we're just talking about going crazy on the mic, it's comparable. And that's 20 years ago.
Yeah, but the other guy was only 10 years into his career. This guy was almost 30 years in doing it. That's what I mean.
Exactly.
It's the GOAT moment.
Andrew Williams with the super chat says, the way that Nas was talking on The Truth and Ugly, fire. For sure. All right,
Ugly's my favorite record.
You said that. You said that last time. Yeah, I forgot you said that. So Ugly's going to be your favorite record. I think my favorite record on the album is... I'm trying to say something other than The Truth, but The Truth is it.
The Truth would be my runner-up. It would be Ugly, The Truth, and then 4016 Building for me.
I like 4016 Building a lot. I mean, I like Meet Joe Black, too. I remember us harping on how dope the hook game was on Meet Joe Black.
Go talk all over it. Got go talk all over it.
All right, Luis with the super chat, and we're going to get up out of here. He says, I'm only 20 years old, and Nas is my GOAT. Magic was the album that made me listen to him and say he was the GOAT. Now, that's crazy. It's crazy that he was able to make an album at 48 years old that was able to connect to a 20-year-old, and I guess you were 18 at the time, to say, you know what, like you said, he's not only the best rapper of all time, he's the best rapper at that moment. Because when you're 18, you thinking about who the best person is right now. They're the all-time guy for you. And he was able to win an 18-year-old over nearly, 30 years into his career almost. Impressive.
It's greatest.
Yep. And is there anything that we missed? I think we got all of our awards out there. We're going to check out that Coast Contra. I want people to go check out Firebird Phoenix shit too. And we're going to be posting that. And yeah, man, Happy New Year to you and yours. It's been a interesting 2023. Hopefully 2024. Hip-hop gives us a little bit more to talk about musically. That's my hope. What are the anticipations for hip-hop in 2024? Who are we expecting to drop? I know we spoke on this a little bit last episode, but now we're closer. I heard the TDE is dropping a collaborative album.
I don't believe that. I'm dropping. I just want to hear J. Cole.
You know what? I believe it. I don't believe Kendrick's going to be on it. Kendrick's going to pull...
album then.
He's going to pull one of those 2100 Jackson Streets that Michael pulled on the Jacksons back in the day. You remember that? The Jacksons dropped an album. The 2300 Jackson Street album. And, my parents went out and bought it. This had to be like 88. This is like right after Bad. And Michael gave them 4 bars on the whole album? I think that's what Kendrick's gonna do on this one. I think we're gonna get a TDE album with the crew, and Kendrick might not be on it at all, or might be on there for a slight second. But that's okay. I'm cool with hearing Schoolboy, J Rock, Ab-Soul, and possibly Isaiah Rashad. That's who we need in the new year too. We need Isaiah Rashad to come back.
J. Cole.
J. Cole. The standard's gonna be high. That's gonna be the most anticipated album of 2024. Quick question before we get out of here. Would it be more anticipating for Kendrick or Cole? If they both, let's just say that we got a date and they said that both of these guys are coming out. Let's just say hypothetically, Cole and Kendrick are dropping on the same Friday. Whose album's more anticipated to you, and which one are you going to press play on first?
I'm going to press play on the one that I know is going to be good. That would be J. Cole.
Oh, you don't think Kendrick got anything left in him?
J. Cole.
Really? You think Kendrick's done?
I don't want to talk about the other guy. The other guy don't want nobody to talk about him unless it's time for him to get on stage and perform. So let's see what he does when he does it. Cole.
Yeah, I can't forget Reason over there at TDE. Shout out to Reason.
Cole.
I think with the run that Cole's on, it's leading up to something big. So I can agree with you on that. But I don't know. A part of me, I want to see how Kendrick is going to respond to this last album. I think that he knows that the core feels like he lost something. And even though he's getting a lot of praise for Mr. Morale in certain circles, I think in the circles that he probably wants to get that gratification from, he's not getting it. So I want to see how he's going to respond to Mr. Morale. I'm really interested in seeing that. I think Cole has been consistent. He's on a roll. I'm interested to see how Cole takes this run and turns it into an album and takes it even further. But I think I might slightly be more interested, if I had to choose, in how Kendrick's going to respond to Mr. Morale. Is he going to be comfortable with the praise that he got for it? Or is he going to come back like something was missing?
J. Cole.
Take the time to the super chat says, if we talking about actual quality production, no one is fucking with the Justice League. Preem, Boy Wonder, Trackmasters, Neptunes, Just, Heatmakers, Metro, Jake One in the top 10. Interesting. I love it. All right. Everybody have a happy new year. We look forward to speaking with y'all. Shit. Maybe Monday. We'll work it out. We'll see how that shit goes. Mr. Mid. Salute to everybody. Great show. We're going to put out these awards. And we're about to check out this Coast Contra freestyle. Hopefully it's freestyle of the year. To 2024.